smiling at me. He's like, I don't care. He's like, let's do it. Like, Nick Fuentes, instantly, there's no hesitation at all. Then Dean is like, all right, let me think about it because I want to make sure like this is the right thing to do. He's like, if it's worth it, it's risky because, again, chat, I understand where Dean's coming from. If you're first up and coming, like I was, for example, if I was on Twitch, I would not have Nick Fuentes on, obviously. Like, they ban me. Like, it makes no sense.
Can I be banned on Twitch for doing this?
Oh, for sure. If you had Nick Fuentes on Twitch, you'd be banned for sure, 100%.
But right now, it's just off-platform TOS me doing this?
I don't think so. The new CEO of Twitch, Dan is better than the last one when I got banned. Yeah, so Dan came in after. Dan's a good CEO, for real.
He seems like it.
He's making new rules, and he believes in second chances. He's better than the last guy, I'll tell you that, chat. He actually is... Ew. Sorry. But yeah. And then you got motherfuckers text me, you're never gonna unban. Listen, dude, guys, if I get unbanned, what? So I do collabs with people for 2 days and then I'm back to this? Like, let me do what I want to do. The 2-year mark is coming up and it is what it is, bro. And if people fuck with me, they're gonna collab me regardless. It don't matter, bro. Just trust me, bro. You got Sneeko that flies out to me. You got Fuzi that came out here. We got FaZe members gonna fly out, bro. Like, it is what it is, bro. I love being able to say and do whatever I want without having to worry about getting banned. People like me and people like that are big streamers, they don't deserve to be silenced. They don't deserve to be scared to say what they want to say. I'm sorry, bro. They don't. I think if you're in a position to be, if you have a following, you should be able to say and do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
And honestly, I do want to say free Shenagi Hose, free Derek, Kick. I would love to get on the phone with some moderation team and figure out how we can develop a system to where we can finally show people changing for the better and finally showing people to give second chances on Kick. It's very big to do that.
Free Combi.
He's unbanned.
He's free?
Yeah. Which, by the way, Combi was banned for a month, and they re-switched it to 2 days, I think, or a day or something.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, again, that just goes to show you guys, like, and don't say bias and favoritism, but they're willing to work. So let's find a way, if you're Joe Schmo and nobody knows who you are and you don't have connections to Aiden or XQC or Train, let's find ways to bring people to get unbanned. Let's have like a system in place. I would love to put that in there.
Twitch was fun today, I can't lie though. I understand.
I saw.
I've never got to stream on Twitch. And today was like the first real stream. That's a fun website, bro.
Yeah. Chat, I obviously want Sneeko to come to Kick more than anybody. I think Sneeko is a Kick candidate. I'm not wishing bad upon you, bro, but I just think you'd have a better time on Kick.
I think they're waiting to see me get banned so that I have less leverage.
Did you say anything scary today that might have gotten you in a little bit of a...
No, yesterday I did. I made a George Floyd joke, but that wasn't even bad. I said a guy looked like George Floyd. That's it. Today, nothing. Everything was good. But the worst thing was that your cousin called.
Okay. Well, that's nothing.
Yeah.
My cousin calls on everybody's stream.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've noticed that, but...
Yeah.
Well, it's fun. I like Twitch.
Well, guys, the debate's going to start, in about half an hour, but we'll have everybody get in before. I need Nick's Discord. Yeah. You guys can go into Nick's shit and tell him I'm looking for his Discord. We got to add him in this group chat. But yeah, guys, listen. Again, me and Sneeko are going to be very, very neutral during this debate. Sneeko's going to help ask questions. You guys ask questions. We have 4 good topics we're going to talk about. One of them being the presidential, obviously the presidential, who's the better presidential candidate. So guys, again, this Dean guy, he did the Jubilee video. If you guys have seen him on TikTok, put me in the channel if you guys have. And then we got Nick Fuentes here. All right, so yeah.
He's doing a show right now. I think he's probably when he's
wrapping up.
Yeah, he doesn't check his phone when he's live.
Okay. Cheezer told me, he said, Aiden, Nick is the biggest stream I've ever had. His audience is a core cult. They ride for him like no other. They're very deep in. He said that I've never had a stream like that. That was the best stream I've ever had. That's what Cheezer said. Cheezer said he recommended. I called Cheezer. I said, talk to me. What should I do? He said, Aiden, like Nick seems like a solid guy and all these things. And I'm like, all right, so let's figure out how to get him on. Let's figure this out. So I have Nick on Discord from Cheezer stream. Wants me to make a group chat. He's banned on that account. Sneeko told me that he's banned on pretty much every platform. So he basically has to make a new Discord.
Every collab I've done with Nick, he has to make a new Discord.
A new Discord. Yeah. So basically,
we just tried the new one.
He's banned. It's banned. So we got him. He's making a new one probably, hopefully after this. Why is he banned from Discord?
Because man, the bank processors, crypto, like everything.
So what else is he banned from?
Bro, venues. At the America First venue in Detroit, like they had to go and host it in a nightclub because the warehouse shut it down.
What about Instagram?
Come on.
Twitter? No. Well, Elon.
No, he's back on Twitter, yeah.
Shout out to Elon. That's why, again.
It's funny, he's not verified on X. and he's not verified on Rumble. Even though I think he's like top 3 or 5 on Rumble, he doesn't have the check mark.
That's insane. Yeah, let's react to this really quick. Good clip right here. Let me see.
Yeah, what's good, everybody? As y'all know, I've been indefinitely suspended on Kick. I made a big mistake and said a very stupid joke. It's completely disgusting. I promise I'll never say nothing like that again. I'm sorry to anybody who watched that, all the viewers, and to the people at Kick, and I promise I learned my lesson. You know what I'm saying? I want to give a big shout out to Trainwrecks, Aiden Ross and Eddie for making the best streaming platform of all time. You know what I'm saying? And Kick, please reinstate me. You know what I'm saying?
Why are you guys laughing?
I promise I'll be a good role model, positive role model for the platform and for all the viewers. And you know what I'm saying?
He is a good role model.
And yeah, thank y'all again.
All right, so rate this
Free
1 through 10.
Schnaggy.
Free Schnaggy. Rate it 1 through 10.
You guys, this is the most serious I've ever seen him.
Me too.
I give it a 9.
Yeah.
Apology,
For how serious Schnaggy, if you know Schnaggy, you know, dude, like, this is a good 8.5, 8. You know, now, if you don't know Schnaggy hoses, what would you rate this?
If I don't know Schnaggy?
Yeah.
1.
Really?
Bro, make eye contact with the camera, bro. He keeps looking away. He looks like he's in the principal's office.
It looks like he has, like he's a gun
Like he's in
behind the
detention.
camera. Yeah. Well, dude, he doesn't, you know, you could tell he's genuine, though, dude. Like, he feels bad. Like, look, his life is ruined right now, right? He can't stream. He can't make money. He can't buy weed, you know? Yeah, like, he's not making any income. You know, what can he do right now? He's fucked. He genuinely, you know, needs to get unbanned. Let's see what Twitter's saying about him.
The chat's saying good.
Oh, come on, guys. You love Schnaggy. I'd vouch, you know. Let me say something really quick. View quotes. See what people are saying about him. Oh, fuck. Okay, free Schnaggy. Fuck. Dude, oh my god.
Right, everyone getting on the moral high ground, like they don't say stuff like this when they're playing Call of Duty. Like
No.
when I was 12, bro, like I would say crazy stuff. Like I'm not gonna repeat it, but
But you wouldn't say, you know, that. You know.
I wouldn't. Yeah, no.
You wouldn't, right? I mean, what's Fearbuck? Let me see Fearbuck's tweet. Let me type it in real quick. What's Daily Sneak Up, by the way? What is this?
Yeah, why you logged into my fucking Waze is all?
You were streaming.
Oh yeah.
Should he be on ban? Yes. What the fuck?
No.
Fearbuck, yo, bro. Again, Fearbuck came out of the AR Loyals. Are y'all really moving like libtard now? Like, what's going on here? Like, what the fuck is this, bro? Y'all are going down the cancel culture bullshit. Why should Schnaggy Hose be on ban chat? Why should he be banned? You guys tell me. You guys tell me.
He barely streams. Like, does he really go live that much?
I'm not even gonna clip that. I mean, he was back on his grind. He was back on his grind. Guys, he's not a pedophile, bro. Like, he's literally not. He doesn't even look like a fucking pedo.
Nah, he doesn't.
Like, come on, dude. He does not get pedo vibes. You know he doesn't, chat. Come on, guys. There's this other Nick Fuentes clip I want to react to. I didn't watch it, but Cheezer sent it to me. Let me see this shit real quick.
EDP.
Oh shit. Uh-oh. Let me know when you're finished.
I got 2 calls from CEOs today, bro. That's how lit the stream was.
Chat, I think Sneeko has a call kick after the stream, chat.
Yeah, they're fake, bro. They wanted me to get banned and have no leverage. They saw that I had a lit stream. Hey, buddy, we'd love for you to come to kick.
Stream the call. I mean, I'd be down. Fuck it.
What do you call him up?
Right now?
Yeah.
No, I could do it on stream, dumb fuck.
Why?
Because you need a Jew in your ear, and let me negotiate with you. Let me get you the best deal.
Right. Okay, actually, that was believable.
Yeah. You need a Jew in your ear.
Look what's on the Explore page right now.
Let's listen, guys. I want to just say this about the Fousey thing. We don't want to stretch it. We don't want to drag it. Me and Sneeko fuck with Fousey. We haven't even linked those girls actually once.
Wallahi, we haven't.
Like, you guys think we're linking them and going on dates with them and shit? Like, no, we're not. We're not. We were supposed to do a segment with him today. I'm down to sit with him and talk. I'm not down to debate. I'm down to sit with him and talk to him. There's no point for us to debate, Fousey. You know, there's no point, bro. You know we fuck with you, and you know it's all a script. Let's just go back to just figuring it out. We should all do some content and figure some shit out. We should all go do something. I don't know. Thoughts? Let me see, Fearbuck's tweet. Let me see really quick. What is this right here? Okay.
Yeah, Neon's doing his third.
Yeah, let him do his thing. Yeah, my thoughts on the neon shit. Is that what you're asking? It's good. It's great. W. Like, look at you being weird and send that clip out of all of them. You fucking weirdo. What about it, bro? You got a dream hack? Where is it? Where's your hack?
I have no idea. I don't know. I think it's in Texas. No,
Texas,
you don't
yeah.
want to go to that. Never mind.
Why? Why? I'm gonna
Chat, why? Yeah, mute real quick.
Just tell me.
Mute real quick.
Just say it.
Mute real quick, bro.
Yeah, true. God, they know anyway.
No, all right.
Not that. Oh, all right, Blurry. Relax, bud. Let me see here. We're gonna start about 30 minutes. I need Nick Fuentes' Discord. Let's see.
He's still live. He's gonna give it to me in 20.
Okay, so about 30 minutes we start the debate chat. Do you guys want to know the topics we're talking about, or should we save it?
Yeah, you should save it, and then we can get some good
questions.
Good follow-up questions. For
Well,
that.
guys, if you guys want to give us some good Trump or Kamala questions, let's start with that, and then I'll have you guys help ask questions. I want you guys to be involved in this debate. It is a live debate. I'll write down stuff on a notepad. Actually, I'd rather hit them with the questions like on the spot. I think it'd be better.
They're not gonna have any preparation. I don't think it matters that much anyway.
No.
They're not gonna have too much time to prepare or change their answers. Plus, I think about this stuff all the time.
Ask Nico to react to this. Let's see.
Okay.
On December 25th, 2015, Yusuf Saleh era. Go fuck yourself, Keemstar, you weird old man. Your videos suck, and so does your weird pointy facial hair. Merry Christmas.
Christmas, huh?
I was Catholic.
Okay. Damn.
Bro, Christmas is still a good holiday.
How old are you right there?
Is this cringe or
Nah.
we're laughing? Aura. I was I think 15 there. That's a long time ago.
Wait, no way she signed a kick.
Bro. Eddie, what the fuck are you doing with it? Like, what is it?
She started a kick? What?
And she's verified.
Wait, are you verified yet?
They gave me the kick yesterday. I was Sneeko Reacts, and now I'm Sneeko.
This is you?
I'm not verified, but they said that's me.
Please, for fuck's sake, just take the deal.
Dude.
Wait. All right, so chat, let's not shit on her.
This is incredible. What do you think her deal was, chat? How much is she making in?
I can find out.
Chat, what race, what religion is Haktua?
Wait, they took my verified and gave it to her? Shut the... They did not take Lico's. Pris, I still see yours. Why would they take away your verification?
She's
not Jewish. Let's cap.
sure.
Look it up. All right. Hawk to a girl ethnicity.
Wasn't she at the Mike Rubin party?
No, she wasn't. I didn't see her. Yeah, dude, she's not fucking Jewish, bro.
I don't know. Look at that mom right there.
She's not. She's literally not Jewish.
Is she an industry plant? What do you think?
Wait a minute. I remember this clip.
Your whole
Lineage?
Not really.
No.
Would you hit?
So what I have for you is a DNA test that you just have to huck to in. Here, take it.
Oh, don't throw shit at her.
I'm not throwing shit at her. Open it up. You just huck.
You talk to it into a tube.
You just spit into a tube, and then we tell you that. Then they send it away. They tell you like where.
They take away everyone's kick badge.
Ancestors are from.
It's like my last name, Welch.
So you're from grape juice?
I guess so.
Yeah.
Wait, why did... I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to call out everyone who did not want to debate Dean. But why did...
He was asleep.
He was sleeping,
Yeah,
okay.
he was sleeping. He just got up.
Would he have done it?
I don't know.
Oh, I see.
Should I call him?
Well, it doesn't really matter. Because
Yeah.
Fuentes is doing it, so...
Yeah.
And I can't 2v1, you know, so...
I'm sure I'm kin to him some way or another.
You might be.
That'd be kind of cool.
Let's
Don't
try
even
this.
respond to me.
What?
Parker, Dean's boy, was going to come on, but he said he doesn't want to do it because of Fuentes.
For you?
I love Welch's. Like their juice. Oh, so good.
Again, the juice.
Juice. Yeah, she just loves anything
You
juice.
like the
Do you
juice?
like the fruit snacks? The Welch's fruit snacks? Dude, we're so connected.
So you wouldn't hit?
Was you?
Yes! Chat, would you guys?
Right. So all you got to do is, I'm not going to say it because it's your trademark.
No?
He
No,
doesn't
you
even
can
know
try to
how.
get 30
He
cents.
does it- he
What's her
does it
type?
wrong every time.
I feel like girls like that like black guys, right?
Pardon me?
That sounds like Peter Griffin when he laughs.
It's just how we made it out.
The
So take the
tattoo,
thing out, the tube
yeah.
out. There's a tube. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you just have to
Say it.
fill
Uh-oh.
out.
Say it.
What do you say? What is your word?
I can't say it either.
Why?
Then I gotta pay for it. No, I don't think that's how it works.
Okay, so she got famous off saying hawk to her, which is sucking dick. Let me ask you, do you think she sucks good dick?
I don't think so. To be honest with you, I don't.
Why do you not think so?
I'm just not convinced. I'm not convinced behind it. Like, real ears are shy, if you notice it. Like, back in the Haram days, if you notice girls like that, who are the freakiest, and, like, they're always really quiet.
That's true. I'll tell you that.
Not out there spitting on a mic in public.
That's true. I'll tell you, you're not wrong.
She has big teeth, too. Looks
You
scrapey.
just
Yeah,
do
it would
into
hurt.
The tube.
I gotta do this on TV. That's
Yeah.
so uncomfortable.
Well, it's okay.
You don't have
We're gonna
to.
watch her spit in a tube.
Yeah.
Want to do.
Yeah, we're gonna find out where your ancestors
You
and
don't
everybody
have
came
to.
from. Yes.
I'll get y'all later and let you sit. Actually, no, you might sell this. How do I know you're not selling this?
I won't sell it.
What's her race?
Just look at it.
I'm not a
Two out into the tube.
What was that? What was that
What's he
movement?
covered? They're just gonna text it. Said,
You're not normal.
oh, we can do the sound.
This could have been a skit. Oh, dude. Is he Jewish, too?
Nah, he's not. He's not. Trust me.
This guy gotta be.
About to roll up a Blanchski.
We got plenty in there.
I think they all are.
No, they're
Nah,
not.
actually, Blaustein, that's a Jewish name.
Have the
Howie Mandel, is he?
Spit tape.
He is.
So,
He is, bro.
Oh, look at her race. What the fuck is an Ashkenazi though?
That's the European ones. Those are the ones that dominate Israel. Like Polish,
Really?
Ukrainian, yeah.
How is she Jewish though? Why are you guys saying of course?
It could have been a skit. Maybe this was fake.
Yeah, dude, guys. She's blonde. If anything, she's German.
Well, there are a lot of German Jews. I'm just saying.
No, there's not.
You're probably Ashkenazi yourself.
I wish I could test it. Is there a way?
Yeah, spit in this thing, hawk to it like her.
There's gotta be one I could just do at home, like an at-home DNA.
This is an
test.
at-home one.
So how do I get one?
Um,
I actually want to do it. We should do it on stream, you and I. You're scared to do it though. 'Cause
and I'll do it. I'll do it.
You're Jewish.
I haven't done one before.
Should we do one tomorrow?
I think
I'm
of
with
your
it. I'm with
Jewish.
it.
How do we get them tomorrow? Is there a way to get it tomorrow, chat?
23andMe. Do you know the CEO of 23andMe is Susan Wojcicki, the YouTube CEO's sister?
Really?
Yeah.
I think Susan passed.
She did. Rest in
Yeah.
peace.
Right, R.I.P.
Do you know what she is?
Ask Tom. Let me ask him right now.
Yes, she was.
Let me see. Let me ask Tom real quick.
Be very. My mom's saying be. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just like making analysis.
Yeah, it's okay.
I didn't say anything bad.
Tell your mom I said hi.
No.
She's in the street. Sorry, excuse me,
You
miss.
gonna burp at my mom?
Oh my god, I forgot. I'm sorry, miss. Hey, Tom.
Yeah?
Hey, I'm streaming. Can you get us a DNA test?
A DNA, you want me to order you like a...
An at-home one, the one that the Talk to a girl did. The Hawk to a girl. She took it and then it came back like 5 minutes later.
Why, you want to see that Sneako's actually Jewish?
Yes.
Look at these tactics right here.
Yeah.
Sneako, you know you're Jewish deep down.
Yeah.
What if you really do come out as Jewish?
Look at me. Look at me.
You might.
Nah, you're Filipino. You're good, though.
My dad's half black.
Cap.
And that's wallahi he is.
So
So
you're,
you're Blasian? So you're Blasian? I thought you, low-key, you kind of look Mexican. So it's kind of...
no, he's not Mexican. He's a Blasian.
I'm Blasian, but I have my grandfather. He might be.
Nike ads, that Nike campaign you did, you look at Mexican.
I look Korean. in
Hey,
that.
did you see the other?
Yo, you're from, bro. Like, dude, like,
Hey,
Like, bro,
Wait,
like-
can we get the same? It would the one that shows the results in like 5 minutes.
You won't get it tonight. You ain't getting it tonight, buddy. You gotta order
Crystal
that.
socks.
Like in the next couple of days, though.
Yeah.
someone said I'm a
All
bliga.
right, thanks.
All right.
I'm a bliga.
What's that?
I don't know, black and Asian.
It takes 30 days to get this exact one. Shut the fuck up. There's no way. Oh my god.
But I do think my grandfather might be half Ashkenazi. So that would
think I
make me
like
like
this
maybe
one.
6% or
Little bit
12%.
bigger?
No, that would make you 25% Jewish.
Fuck.
Check this out. You said your grandfather's how
AC.
much?
He might. I'm not sure.
How much though?
I know my grandfather's mom was
I'm gonna
Catholic,
turn on my
for
AC,
sure.
hold
So
on.
that automatically doesn't make him Jewish, but he might be ethnically part Ashkenazi.
Well, I can't believe it. If you paid your giveaway winners before. Wait, what?
Wait, that's Toasty again. Alright, Toasty, you already won 10 grand. It cancels out. Alright, someone. For that person that said festivals,
All right, listen, dude. As somebody who's taken months to a year to pay people money, and Toasty, listen, dude. I'm telling you from actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you. You'll probably get your money, dude. I've taken fucking months to pay people for their winners. Just give it some time, dude. Give it some time. Nothing wrong with Jewish ethnicity. It's the Jewish faith. They're. What are you saying, dude?
No, actually, I saw this video today of a
To your
rabbi
right.
arguing with a Zionist in New York. Like a lot of Jews don't even agree with what Israel's doing. Like I think most don't. A lot of people in Israel don't like hate Netanyahu, for example.
Really?
Yeah.
What the hell is Yannanu?
Netanyahu's the president of Israel.
Yeah, this guy is.
He's the guy who's like calling out all the attacks. He's bad. I think he's undeniably a bad person.
I think well, I'm not gonna say who, but we know Israelis that don't like him.
Yeah, no, I don't think he likes him.
He doesn't like him.
No.
Yeah.
Nobody like no Israeli does.
Yeah. So it's like, I just think anybody. They're saying
Prime minister, not president. Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah.
There's no difference for the president.
I know.
There's no difference. Who runs the UK now?
Didn't you look it up when you were beefing the black dude?
KSI.
Yeah.
Why don't you say his name? You took a picture of him at a party.
That was the same day I did that Keemstar video with.
Yeah, but I'm saying, why are you saying that?
Because I didn't want to get clipped and then start beef.
You saw what Simon said about me?
I did.
What did you think about
I
that?
did.
They
No
couldn't
more
even.
beef.
Yeah. You know what? It's not even worth it.
I don't find him funny, to be honest. I'll just say that. I don't like it. He just laughs loud. That's his content.
Dude.
That's it, bro. Like
Shit.
the FIFA stuff was good in 2012 when I was a kid.
Yeah. Wait, hold on a second. Let me just move this over here. What's up, Nick? Hold on.
How you doing, buddy?
There's this clip. How old is Nick?
He's 26.
She's the same age as you?
He's like a month older, yeah.
Hawk Jua. That was funny. Okay. So what happened with you and Zerka?
Nothing. I talked to him like 2 days ago.
Nice.
Yesterday.
Is he clean?
Yeah, he's clean.
Good. I feel like Zerka is not a bad guy when he's clean, if that makes sense. But there's this clip I wanted to react to. This one.
Jews don't fear all this,
boy
touching
is
your head to the floor.
multi-streaming.
This is disrespectful.
No, but this is what I want to ask you. It's like,
It's now set up. So I'm multi-streaming on
we all need to
YouTube,
respect those religions. Let me just watch this shit.
Kick,
The Jews don't fear.
and
The Jews
Twitch
don't
at the
fear all
same
this, touching your head to the
time.
floor and running around the black.
Real quick.
They put a black cube up.
Nick, and all Christians, that's how Jesus prayed. Jesus prayed putting his head to the floor. He fasted for Ramadan. He didn't eat pork. He was circumcised. He did all that.
Well,
and he's saying, oh,
hold
we
on.
didn't put his head to the
Can I say
This
something?
is their God prayed the way that he's mocking right now.
Really quick, I do want to say this. Oh shit, nice food. Okay, I do want to say this. Jesus was Jewish.
He was ethnically a Jew by faith. He wasn't.
Correct. Well, no, I know that, but that's what
was
the
the tribe of
that's the
Judah,
New
yeah.
Testament was made because of Jesus Christ's
Right.
Dying on the cross.
Right.
So but that's what I'm saying. Chat, you guys don't understand, but he really was.
On their head, nigga. The black you worship a black
Wait.
cube. They put a black cube on their head, nigga. You worship a black cube. They put a black cube on their head.
Okay, I also want to point out how this is just not true. For him to say that we worship a black cube is like saying Christians worship the rosary or they worship the statue. Like when you go to church and they pray towards Jesus, they're not worshiping the statue in church. They're worshiping God, but that's just where they're praying towards. When we pray towards the Kaaba, nobody's worshiping a black cube. First off, it's gray. People don't know that because there's a cover over it. And second, it's just a mosque. You're not worshiping it. You're just praying towards it. He knows this, but he's just he's being facetious.
Okay.
It's all, there's a black cube on Saturn, there's a black cube on their head, and there's a black cube in the Middle East that you pray to.
Do Muslims hate him?
A lot like him, but stuff like this is creating more division.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessary.
We don't have a black cube, okay?
They're saying nah. I'm like, no. Why do they like? Dude, everyone loves him. I'm not even joking. Do people hate Nick? I've never seen him get hate. I swear to God.
No, but I mean, like, I like Nick, and I think he's very smart. I think he's a future in politics. Like, it's stupid to say he has a lot of haters.
But I'm saying, could he be a president?
I said before that I think it's possible. When something like this is not presidential.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
We have a man on a cross. We have the God man.
What? The God man?
Well, he means Jesus. I know what he meant.
Why would you say that though?
But,
we have a God man.
Well, because Jesus Christ was a man and he's God. I get that.
I know. It just sounds like, why water it down? We have the God man.
But because he's saying that he was a man before he became God. Like, I understand what he's meant by that. I know he worded it funny, but I know what he meant.
The cube, you have cursive writing. Oh, we can't show his face. We're going to write his name. Yeah, we have a man, a face, emblazoned on a cloth. The shroud of...
Alright, let's Let's not make fun of the shot of Turin, please.
I never pictured God having a face or God being a man. When I prayed, it was always to God. Jesus prayed in the Bible. He prayed to God. That's what I always prayed to.
If you guys, I will say one thing. Well, it depends, bro. If you're a Christian, you believe that Jesus Christ is God. Right?
But when you think of God right now, what do you think of? You think of a face?
I don't know.
You think of God, like an entity that we can't even describe, something that we can't picture.
It's not on.
And I think most Catholics would agree with that too.
But they're saying Jesus. Do Catholics believe that Jesus is God too?
Yes.
Okay. So it's similar.
But they also say Jesus is the Son of God. I'm sure you've heard that.
Catholics?
Yeah. Jesus is the Son of
so
God.
So then who would be God then? Who's Jesus' father?
God.
But who is it?
Because
you know how Allah
Allah is God.
Is God for...
No, it's the same thing. Allah just means God in Arabic.
Oh,
it's the same word.
I thought it was somebody's name.
It's the same thing. When you prayed in the masjid, you were just praying to God.
Wait, I thought Allah was a guy.
No. Allah means God in Arabic. That's it.
What?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
What? Oh my God.
And that was even written, like when Jesus would talk about God, I think the
well, you know Judaism,
Allah,
you know who my God is, right? Abraham.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I don't think you're right about that.
It is.
I don't think you're right about this special clip.
What do you have? So, and you know, the Muslims and Jews are always so chummy. They always look, you know, Muslims...
That's also not... Saying Muslims and Jews are chummy right now is a crazy statement. Like, considering...
What does chummy mean?
Like, friendly.
We are friendly.
We are, but most aren't at all. Like right now. In history, yes. But to say Muslim Jews are chummy right now is a
With
great...
the food?
Hey,
what about that halal?
Jews. Muslims and Jews team up all day over their hatred of the white man.
Thanks, bro.
And their hatred of Christians. And, you know, here's the thing.
Okay, also, did you hear this?
What?
This is like the
what does AF stand for, by the way?
America First. I agree with this. This is what I like. I like Nick's movement, America First, about putting our interests first. But then he says this, and a lot of times he equates whiteness with Christianity and faith. And that doesn't make any sense to me, because there's a lot of white Muslims.
And their hatred.
Like Bosnians. Like Cheezer, for example, Cheezer's dad were Fet. That's a whole region full of white Muslims.
Christians. And, you know, here's the thing. I'm going to say something very serious. The only way that we can fight against them is faith. Please do not think that you are strong. Please do not think that if you do enough push-ups, you can fight the devil. You can't. The Muslims say, oh, Christians are so weak, Christians are so weak. How many billions of Muslims and missiles and all this? They're getting bulldozed. There's like 8 million people in Israel. They're literally getting bulldozed. Don't for a second get into this. We have to hate them. The ends justify the means.
Why are they laughing?
We've got to become strong. We have to pray.
Dude, I'm not even joking. I've never seen somebody get so much like facts and W's than him. Like, I don't understand. Can you tell me why? Why do they all love him?
He does a good job of mobilizing people, and saying what a lot of people think but don't know how to word.
But chat, okay, if he literally just said Hitler was a good man, y'all would just put. That's a bad example.
Here you go. Ready for the fucking.
No, but hold on. Let me just think of like something. He does not actually say
facts.
Let me. Can you pull up some like shit of him? Like what he would say? Like I want to see something. Like did he talk about the Holocaust and shit or no?
Yeah.
What
he did on Cheezer Stream.
What did he say?
Oh man. I think he said. I wouldn't say that he denies all of his he's a revisionist. He probably questions the.
It's not fake though.
No, it's not fake, but he's a revisionist.
Okay.
And for a lot of people, guys like Ethan Klein, for a lot of like Western Jews, they'll worship the Holocaust before they worship a religion. That is their religion, is the Holocaust.
Got you.
Guys like H3H3.
Like, what does this mean? What does that mean, bro?
One nation under occupation, under the Holocaust.
Bro!
It's not.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, yeah.
Somebody said that Nick is explaining the Holocaust to Cheezer. Let me see.
But is it true that you think the Holocaust is fake?
Here we go.
It's not that I think it's fake. I just think that it's exaggerated.
Okay.
And, you know, because I'll give you a perfect example.
Okay.
Like October 7th, the attack on Israel. This is how I will explain it by analogy.
Yeah, go ahead. Say what
on October 7th, Hamas attacked Israel. This is the recent event.
Okay.
And here's a perfect example. When that attack happened, they came out and said, oh, Hamas beheaded 40 babies. They said, Hamas has literally decapitated 40 babies, and we have the video evidence.
That's not true.
And Joe Biden came out and said, I've seen it. Anthony Blinken, the Secretary of State.
So Joe Biden said he saw it?
I've seen the evidence.
There was
And
no evidence.
2 months later, it came out that that was complete fabrication. It came out that it was basically like 2 stories that were kind of mixed together, where some people were beheaded by like shrapnel, and they found like several dead kids. Someone embellished it, but overnight it turned into this narrative about.
Your mom said don't.
Yeah.
Sorry.
There's no truth in it, but it was sensational. It was visceral. I mean, if you imagine that image, it's so shocking. You would want to say whoever is responsible for something like that must be buried. Like whoever would decapitate 40 babies should you need to annihilate it.
Dude.
And you have to think that is sort of the intended effect. And there's a word for this. It's called atrocity propaganda. During a war, it obviously benefits Israel if their enemy is seen as unredeemable.
Yeah, what's that?
Can a nigga live?
That's the best one.
Please.
Wait, what?
This country sucks. You can come here, you can eat cats, you can eat people, you can drive your car into a store, a stolen car, gang killings everywhere all the time. Can a nigga stream a little reaction to the major party convention? Can I sell a hat? Seriously. I mean, it's getting a little ridiculous.
Does he speak in person in front of people?
Yeah, he does speeches and rallies.
How many people pull up to his rallies?
Pretty a good amount. Yeah, a good amount.
How many?
There's a lot. Hundreds.
Really?
Yeah.
Can a nigga breathe? I can't breathe. Ben Shapiro, I can't breathe. Take your boot off my neck. Let a nigga breathe. It's ridiculous. It's crazy.
Weren't you with him at In-N-Out when he got attacked?
Yep.
What happened?
We were sitting at In-N-Out. We were leaving A24. We were leaving Easy Studio and we decided to get some food. And this was like 2 days after Nick was on Alex Jones' podcast when Ye said, I love Hitler. There's a lot of things that I love about, don't clip that, but I'm quoting Ye. And then we're at In-N-Out and there was this couple like just mean mugging us and sitting across from us. The guy like sitting real close, I'm eating it. I'm looking at this guy, I'm like, bro, just say it. Like I could tell that he was a hater and he's like, you're Nick Fuentes, aren't you? You're fucking racist, blah, blah, blah. And then he walks away and then they're standing by the food thing and him and his wife are looking back like this and we're like, I'm like, all right, maybe we should get out of here. Cause like there were a lot of other people too that were giving mean mugs and eyes. It was too crowded. It was right after the I love Hitler thing. And then the guy turns, he has a thing of ketchup. He picks it up from the In-N-Out and just sprays it. And Nick's wearing a suit like that. Gets all over his suit. It was a good suit too, all over him. Nick stands up like this, gets a whole Sprite, and boom, flicks it. It goes all over the In-N-Out. It goes all over him, and he makes his face. He looks like a guy throwing a grenade like over a board. Boom! And I'm like, I thought there was gonna be a fight that broke out, and we ended up leaving. Hectic.
My dad is dead. My dad is dead. I swear to God, Judge Gatsby. I swear to God. Bro, I'm just fucking with you.
What, you're lying about your dad being dead?
He is dead. He's very dead. Tragic accident. Like I said, I'm just fucking with him because I'm not like actually taking it like I'm not about to cry over it. You know what I'm saying?
So know what happened actually?
Tragic accident. He died in a boating accident.
A boating accident?
Yeah, he was a fisherman.
No. How old was he?
R.I.P. Todd Davis, 54, 55.
That's actually fucked up, bro.
R.I.P. Todd.
Sorry for your loss.
That's so fucked up, bro.
Could be
Why are you
worse.
smiling?
Because I didn't mean it to be this deep of a conversation.
Nah, bro, I feel bad. How do you feel, bro? Be honest.
Me?
Yeah.
I feel like hungry and like I feel alright.
He was making jokes about that stuff. I get edgy humor, but like he
That's
doubled
too. That's OD. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a big no.
You guys have something in common.
What do you mean? Oh, nice, bro.
What? You guys both stream. Chat, y'all weird. All right, is he ready? We're starting in 9 minutes.
Chad, is he stalling?
It's 9 minutes. All right, let's look up Dean now. Because Dean, you gotta look at his highlights.
I've never seen his stuff.
He was doing his thing on this Jubilee. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
There's two main categorical reasons why I say Harris would be better than Trump. The first category is character.
Speaking of which, you know,
What?
we're bringing up stuff from the past. We can say she slept with Willie Brown, broke up a family just to get her job.
She got 4.5 million votes to get into AG and DA and slept with 0 of them.
You don't know that though. Do you know that? No.
Okay,
Absolutely
you
not.
think that she slept with 4.5
I'm
million
sure,
people to
I'm
get
sure
into
she
position
could
of
have,
power?
but the one
Wait,
person that
are you
she did
serious?
was the most important person.
Did you just say that she
did.
had to sleep with 4.5 million?
No.
My name is Dean Withers. I'm a 19-year-old liberal. I do political debate for a living, and today I'm surrounded by 20 Trump supporters. My first
I
argument-
actually
You guys see
love
this
this.
video?
What? That's hard.
See, this is a good question for the debate. We could ask this one again.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Trump's racist.
You know what I think Nick would say?
What?
I think he is racist, but so is everybody.
Everybody's racist.
And I think he would.
Well, no, stop. Everybody stereotypes. Everybody stereotypes, chat. And listen, there's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean you hate people based off their race. That's racism. I'm sick of people throwing the word racist out. It's not what it is. Being racist is not what it was years ago. Like, it's gone. It's become a soft word. That's one thing I will say. We all stereotype.
Trump has done some. Did you hear about that case of the Central Park 5? There was a Netflix show about it.
No.
These 5 black kids that were incriminated. They went to jail for a crime they didn't commit. And
Yes, I heard about that.
Trump bought out a page in the newspaper to get these guys convicted and stuff. I mean, that's in the past. It's in the 80s. Since then, like, I like Trump. You know, I voted for Trump in 2016.
Yeah.
But my argument to this would be like, how is Kamala Harris any less racist?
Well, let me ask you. Did you know that Trump, I think that black people weren't allowed to be in West Palm. And Trump, no, for real.
That's crazy.
Yeah, they weren't allowed to be in West Palm or something, Chad. There was some weird thing, and then Trump basically like made a way for them to come. Mar-a-Lago, thank you. Sorry, Mar-a-Lago. And Trump found a way to basically
to get him in there.
Yeah. Did you see what Kodak White said?
What is that?
They're gonna.
Yeah, so I don't understand how people get this idea that Trump is racist. You know, my family came from a communist country. They came from Cuba, and they came from Mexico. So
play the Cuban card
I don't
immediately.
See anything or any statement that he's ever made.
Doesn't he look like Fat Combi?
There's a fact.
He ruined it. He ruined Mar-a-Lago. He does look like Combi, bro.
I mean, there's accusations, but there's no facts behind it. And this whole idea that all Hispanics are illegal immigrants and they came here undocumented is not true, because my family came here on both sides through the legal immigration process, not illegally here.
Okay, so that was a bold claim. You just said that, you know, there's no facts to substantiate the idea that Donald Trump is going to be a racist. So in the 1970s, there's civil litigation held against him by the DOJ of the state of New York for literally not renting to black people. What they did is they'd send in quote-unquote testers to his rental properties at the time. They'd send in a raw.
When I ask you a question, bro, come on, Citrus. That's weird.
Why would they pin that?
It was Citrus that pinned it.
A white person would ask the property manager if they had.
But 1970 was such a different time. Like,
Go ahead.
but it was it not?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not trying to be weird, chat, but like, it was no.
The available properties to rent, they'd say yes. Here we go. Here's a housing application, and they'd send in a black tester.
Again, by the way, just because I don't agree with Dean on some of these topics, does not mean that we can't pick a side. Like, we got to be neutral, you and I.
No, I host debates all the time.
Okay,
I
so you know I was
neutral.
done?
I'm saying neutral.
All right.
I'm not gonna try to be biased at all.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Chat, Tav said he's starting Rosh Hashanah. He said I'm going to be AFK. He said happy Rosh Hashanah in the chat. It means happy New Year to all my Jews.
Happy Rosh Hashanah to the Jews.
Thank you. He sold out for the Jews, and that makes me happy. Happy Rosh Hashanah to the Jews.
Are you serious, bro? I'm trying to do like a good thing, and now Twitter's good. Shabbat Shalom. Happy Mazel Tov.
Same question, and then they actually denied. When this was investigated by the DOJ, the property manager told them that this was just a order from the higher up, from this Boston Donald Trump. And then they investigated Donald Trump, brought civil litigation against him, and they essentially determined that he wasn't renting to black people, in which he then had a promise to the DOJ that he was no longer going to racially profile in his housing application.
We have 5 minutes. Can you phone Nick?
He's still live. Check his stream.
Can you link me, please?
Rumble.
And even had to put ads in the New York newspaper.
So basically, so what you're saying is basically he's not renting to black people, but yet he employs a lot of minorities. He employs a lot of blacks, Asians, Hispanics onto his staff. So why wouldn't he be renting to black people? It doesn't make any sense. Also,
because it's an example of racism.
But also, it's an example that the Department of Justice is weaponized against people that do something.
Strategy is about thinking several steps ahead. If this, then that. If that, then this.
What's funny?
And calculating.
Dude, he's just so funny to me. Like, I can't explain it.
Power to consider all those things.
What? Well, I don't
Dude,
If you're low
he's just
IQ,
funny, chat. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, if I move it here, I could take this guy's pawn.
Dude.
I'll take a piece.
And if you go, yeah, but if you take that pawn, then you're gonna get checkmated. They go,
But I'm taking a pawn. Can I not take a pawn? You win chess by taking pieces, right? Can I not make this move?
So, anyway. All right, I gotta go. Aiden Ross is calling me. I gotta go. So we'll save the rest of the super chats for tomorrow.
Does this chat like me?
I'll read this one super quick because it's
Juicy
bigger.
Greg sent $50. Been watching it a while. This episode was one of the best. You bring so much info and put it together so well.
Thank you.
Yo, he fights back.
Look at that Yeezy fit too.
How do you even get into
Do you need to snack your food that loud?
Sorry. Look at them aura. Like, oh my god, dude.
Very much, man. Yeah, I like to think that I do. So, yeah, you know what? Maybe I'll just stream it. Okay. I'll just switch over. I guess I'll just have to figure out the tech.
Here, calm.
And I'll just do it. We'll just do it live.
You don't have his number?
All right.
I do.
Yeah,
Calm.
I'll just keep the stream going. What am I thinking? We have 18,000.
My phone's at 1%. Jay!
In the stream.
Got a charger?
Yeah, I'll text
So
him.
bear with me. I'll just get set up here.
Is the Rumble UEI good? Yeah, it is.
What's my
Look, they're happy. Look.
Let's go.
Look, this guy definitely hates Jews. Fuck Aiden.
I'm Unk now. I've been banned from Discord so much. I don't.
Bro, he has an army.
Username and stuff is.
Look at this guy's
Shut
account
up.
name.
Instead of plugging the PC, could you plug it into an outlet? Do you have like the charger piece?
Give me 1 second.
No way somebody's named Osmond in there. That's fucked up, dude.
There it is. Streamer mode.
Aiden sucks baby dick. Like, dude, what does that mean? No. Somebody tell me what the fuck that means.
It's saying he's making fun of the rabbi ritual.
I think he's looking at his phone.
Okay, now I'm gonna re-enable streamer mode because that's kind of a keck name. I forgot that was my name. It's kind of funny, but not really.
His chat is faster than yours.
Maybe I'll get up in a sec, or I'll just hold it like a boss. Okay.
How do you go ad free on Rumble? You have to pay?
Yep.
Sent in.
How much?
My name.
I think it's 10 a month.
We'll
For
wait
all channels?
Yeah.
Invitation.
They just added mid-roll ads on Rumble's Hit It too. No, this shit is moving right now.
Dude, I was gonna say, chat, like, hello? Can you toss me the charger?
Are you gonna play through the speakers or do real audio?
Both. Okay. They'll hear it and we'll hear it. You have slow mode?
Okay.
What's second slow mode?
I'm waiting on an invitation here.
Did he text you?
No.
I just need his Discord, bro.
Oh, I guess I'll just hit up Sneeko.
Oh, there we go.
Or no, I think Sneeko's at Aiden Ross's house, so he has to add me.
Oh, here we go.
They're rushing me,
Got it.
rushing me, and then it's like...
It's okay. We love you, buddy. Take your time.
Why do you, chat, you made a new Discord. Who reports him like...
well, we're awaiting...
Tell him I sent it.
Okay.
Wait, no, it didn't work.
What do you guys think? What do you guys
no
think
E
about
after the
this debate?
No, you have to the K. I wish you knew what these numbers meant. You wouldn't like it.
What do they mean?
You for a second.
Kind of a classic. Normally,
Okay, I'm saying it, chat. Those are Nazi numbers. Like, why?
No, they're not.
Like, that's insane. How do you? I'm gonna ask him about it.
Some, like, lib
How do you know they are?
I'm 2 years on Rumble, bro.
Kind of plebeian.
I know all this stuff.
And they know.
Yeah, they know.
Oh, let me call him really quick.
Yeah, I'm adding Aiden Ross.
Hello? Wait, I gotta fix my mic settings. Which one's the... 1 second here. This is the speakers. Hello?
Hey, what's up?
Oh, that's loud.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, dude? Oh, wait, hold on. Let me put my camera on real quick.
Hang on.
Oh, we're gonna fix the auto. Hold on. Give us a second, chat.
Hang on, I'm trying to get my videos set up here. So you can see me. We got the liberal on yet or what? Hey, Sneeko, what's up?
Jay, can we fix this audio real quick? Let me figure out how to do this.
Look at chat. Jewish audio.
Jewish audio.
Well, I know that. Yeah, I think I know how to fix it. Wait. No, I know why. Audio out. Wait, I thought I had a. Give me a second. Audio output.
Sam, I gotta text my guy here.
Nick, I thought JD Vance did pretty well.
Yeah, he did pretty well. I still don't like him. Still hate him, but.
Chad, is that good? Talk now, Nick.
Testing.
Lower yours just a little bit more. Lower the.
How high is the mic?
Oh, lower the gain a little bit. How's it now? Talk one more time. Nick?
Yeah, we can't see your camera, Nick.
Just want to make sure your camera's straight. Oh.
Test.
Yes, do you see and hear me, Nick?
I do.
Okay, we have to join the other Discord room with with Dean.
Okay.
So, how you feeling tonight? You good?
I'm feeling good. I'm excited.
Dude, it's actually like a pleasure to talk to you, bro.
Likewise, good to talk to you too.
He does have aura.
Let's go.
What?
You have aura.
Thank you, bro. Wait, hold on. What's that? Oh shit! I got it. Well, we're gonna.
Go to the,
yeah. All right. I'm gonna invite you to this room. Don't leak it. All right.
Okay.
Glaze off, right?
Nah, my boy Dean got aura too. All right, 1 second here. What's up, Dean?
What's going on, Aiden? How you doing?
Good, brother. How are you?
Dude, I'm doing all right. I'm a little bit nervous. I've had Knicks fans on the Twitter account. They're a little bit wild.
Hey.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
What's up? I'm good. How you doing?
Doing all right. It's a good night.
Let's have a great
Yes, it
time.
is.
Despite Dean, it's a pleasure to meet you, man. Despite whatever I believe in, like I said, I believe in a couple of your guys' points for certain topics. Me and Sneeko are gonna hold our ground and be as neutral as possible.
Cool. Sounds good. I appreciate y'all for that.
Sneeko, Dean, by the way, Sneeko, you're not gonna be able to see him because we're kind of reacting over you. But here, I'll turn my camera on for a quick second. You could meet us face to face. This is Sneeko.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, dude? I was a little bit disappointed to hear that the debate between you and me wasn't happening, but here we are nonetheless. It's good to meet you.
I didn't even hear about that. I didn't know that was confirmed.
I told you it was.
It was never confirmed.
I literally told you it was. I have the texts.
Show me.
You want to see the text?
Yeah.
Well, it was over FaceTime, actually.
I don't know too much about you. We saw some of your Jubilee video, but I've heard good things about your debating.
But Aiden told me that you agreed to the topics.
No, I didn't.
Okay, I must have.
I'm angling a debate towards Ethan Klein and Hassan Abi right now. But if it makes sense, it makes sense. I'll debate anybody.
Okay,
Today we'll be moderating. I moderate debates pretty frequently, so I'm gonna stay neutral. Obviously, I've known Nick for quite some time, but yeah, we don't want to come off biased at all. We're gonna keep it fair and make sure that we can cover all the topics.
Cool, sounds good. Nick, your webcam is
Nick,
not
let's get your
loaded.
camera right.
I'm trying to get set up here. Give me 1 sec.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out how I can do this here.
Dude, I see Aiden giving you that side eye. I'm not gonna lie, that's crazy.
It's because there's sexual tension.
Okay, word, got it.
All right, I guess I'll just do it like this. My audience won't be able to see, but maybe I'll.
All right, I'll let you guys. You guys go ahead and introduce each other.
Take it away, Nick. You got it first.
Hang on. What's up? Okay.
I guess while he's figuring that out, I'll go ahead and give an introduction of myself to everyone watching. I am Dean Withers. I am a 20-year-old liberal. I really enjoy I enjoy politics. I enjoy debate, and I started streaming on TikTok about a year and a half ago, yapping my mouth to maybe a crowd of 30 people, and here we are. A year and a half later on a debate stage on Aiden Ross's stream debating Nick Fuentes.
All right,
So,
thank you, Dean.
It's gonna be a fun night, guys.
Thank you very much. It is gonna be a fun one. We're just waiting for Nick, and then we'll let Nick introduce himself, and then.
Then we gotta agree on topics and terms and everything.
No, they already both agreed on the topics.
They have?
Yeah, there's 4 good
I
topics.
think they should do maybe a 2 to 5 minute intro, depending on what they agree on, and then.
I agree, and then we'll ask a
And
question.
then we'll do free flowing, and if they interrupt each other, then we can go to 90-second, 2-minute back and forth.
Correct, and then we have the ability to server mute as well.
Oh, yeah, guys, if you want to like formalize this, go for it. Honestly, I was coming in here expecting a back and forth conversation.
Well,
but
well,
I'm
it is.
down-
No, for sure.
But I'm saying
down
if
with
it becomes too
formalization.
much interruption, then we'll do time back and forth.
Yeah.
Cool.
We'll figure it out.
We don't want to hear you guys talking over each other the whole time.
Hey, hey, Nick, if you can hear me, I know how to fix your issue, bro.
Okay, what's up?
So are you using OBS Studio?
Yes.
Okay, so you're gonna go ahead and start a virtual cam. You'll see that. And what that'll do is you could basically use your webcam at the same time as using it on your stream. So it's like you can use Discord and the stream. Make sure your virtual camera is selected to your video source that you're using on OBS.
Okay, let me see.
I'm surprised you're not banned on OBS. I'm kidding.
Hang on, let me see. Yeah, no, I used to be. I don't know. I got a producer now. I got lazy.
That's insane.
Hang on, what is this? This is so why isn't this working? Okay.
So click on you know what you got to do? Go to the camera icon and click the little down arrow.
Jewish tech support.
Come on, man.
Jewish tech
source. Oh, okay. Hang on. I think I got it. Okay, I think I got it. Sorry, guys.
No, dude, you're good. Take your time.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
We're good
Can you
now.
see?
Yes, we're good. Okay, now let me do this, like this. Okay, that wasn't too hard.
All right.
All right.
Nick, he give it a little introduction. I would like you to give a little introduction and tell us, the new viewers and stuff, who you are, what you do. Talk a little about yourself, and go ahead.
Sure, yeah, well, my name is Nicholas J. Fuentes. I'm a live streamer. I've been doing a show called America First for 8 years, almost 8 years now. I'm 26, from Chicago. I'm a reactionary, Trump supporter. Well, I was a Trump supporter, not so much anymore, but I'll be defending Trump. That's fine from, debate point of view. And, so that's me. So I'm excited to be here. It's going to be good.
Sweet. Okay. Well, the first topic, as everyone knows, I told the chat as well, is who is the better presidential candidate. Dean, we'll start with you.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, obviously, I think that the better presidential candidate is Kamala Harris. But I just wanted to clarify with Nick. You said that you're not much of a Trump supporter. So, are you voting for Trump?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to vote for him.
Who are you voting for?
I'm not voting.
Oh, okay. Holy shit. Well, I mean, the reason I chose that topic was because, I thought that you were voting for Trump. I don't really see much use in it if you're not voting for Trump. I mean,
well, it's worthwhile because I'll argue that people should. I'll just argue that Trump is better than. I think that Trump would be a better president, but I'm not going to vote for him.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
So we could argue that.
Yeah, I guess we'll start there. I disagree. And
Okay.
One of the main reasons why I disagree, we could come out of the gate swinging, is this economic policy. I think that, it's pretty clear, and we could probably both agree on this, that the average American should be doing better than they are today, and they should not be doing worse than they are today. Donald Trump's proposed economic policy will make the average American worse off with his tariffs, and then his TCJA for another 10 years disproportionately benefits rich people. It will also just add reckless spending to our debt. It will inflate it even more than it is today. I think there's an estimate from the CBO putting that right at $5.8 trillion. He has no fucking plan how he's going to pay for it. Then we look over at Kamala Harris, okay? Her proposed tax policy so far is $2.4 trillion. She knows exactly how she's going to pay for it, and they're designed for 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class. And it's going to make them better off. Donald Trump's going to make them worse off. Argument's clear.
Okay, that's it. It's just the economic proposals. That's all you got?
We could start there.
Okay.
Sure, we can reference other things too. I didn't want to
Yeah.
just throw everything at you at once. We could talk about
well,
multiple things.
Yeah, well, let me address all that. I mean, so with regard to the tariffs, J.D. Vance pointed this out. The Biden administration continued many of the Trump era tariffs, so that's kind of a moot point. I mean, I don't know if Kamala's going to. Oh, of course he did. Of course he continued.
No, they continued the
on
tariffs,
China.
but it's not a moot point. I disagree with the Biden-Harris administration because they continued the tariffs on China. But what Donald Trump is proposing today is a 10 to 20% flat tariff on all goods imported into the country, right? I could say that any and all tariffs are bad, right? But a 10 to 20% flat tariff on all goods is worse than tariffs on goods imported from China.
I don't think it's a flat tariff. Is that actually the policy? I don't believe that's right.
It is, right? I think that J.D. Vance was talking about this last night at
so.
debate. I think you could reference his own policy. He's talked about it multiple times in the past. If you don't think this is...
It's only on certain countries. There would be no 15, that doesn't make any sense. There'd be no 15 to 20% tariff. But even if that were the case, fine. Let's say for the sake of argument that's true, because I don't know the Trump policy. They keep saying that Trump is going to put in place, they're calling it a consumption tax. A consumption tax is a value-added tax. They're saying it's going to be like a sales tax. And that's the idea that the taxation occurs at the point of a sale of goods. And that's actually a real proposal, but that's different than a tariff because, and here's the difference, when you put a tariff on goods and services, to call that a consumption tax is to imply that the consumer will bear the full cost of the tariff. And that's not necessarily true. Trump had a lot of tariffs in his first term, and the price of goods did not significantly increase in spite of the tariffs. Everybody says that it would only be the case if the full cost of the tariff was passed down to the consumer, but that flies in the face of the fact that foreign corporations will bear the cost of the tariff, or almost all of it. And certainly not all of it is passed down to the consumer. So that's just not true. That's one. Two, with regard to deficit spending, tax policy, I mean, you know, I know you're a young guy and everything, but like Republicans and Democrats, there's a bipartisan consensus on spending. Let's just talk about spending. Most of the spending on an annual basis is not even discretionary. Okay, there's mandatory spending and there's discretionary spending. Mandatory spending means you can't change it. Okay, the executive doesn't change it, Congress can barely change it, and that is liabilities like Social Security, Medicare. It's baked into the cake. It's a vast majority of it. And who is going to cut entitlements? Nobody. Republicans aren't proposing to cut entitlements, although they'd be more willing to than Democrats. Democrats are certainly not touching entitlements. Biden always attacks Republicans in his State of the Union, saying they're trying to touch Social Security. What do you think's driving the deficit of the debt? It's Social Security and Medicare. It's unfunded liabilities. In terms of military spending has gone up every year under the Biden administration. It's like $850 billion per year. That's the largest item in the discretionary budget. So mandatory spending is going to go up in perpetuity under Democrats and Republicans. Discretionary spending is going to go up because military is by far and away the biggest component of that, and Biden spends more. And he spends more on military appropriations because of all the foreign aid. We gave $175 billion to Ukraine. We gave $27 billion to Israel, another $8 billion to Israel last week, $7 billion to Taiwan, $1.3 billion to Egypt. That's in addition to the $850 billion per year, which that's like the highest ever under Biden. So, you know, spending's not coming down under anybody.
Okay, well, that's just wrong. I'm sorry for interrupting you. You can
What's
reference
wrong?
What's
wrong about it?
That spending didn't go down under Biden and Harris compared to Trump. You could reference a committee.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Budget. You said that spending wasn't going down under anyone, right? We can make a comparative analysis between the two last terms, and we could show how it's gone down. A committee for a responsible federal budget indicated that Donald Trump signed $8.7 trillion of debt into law. Meanwhile, Biden and Harris only signed in 4.6. I mean, we could break that down into COVID and non-COVID. Like, for instance, Trump signed $4.8 trillion of non-COVID related expenditures into law. Meanwhile, Biden only signed in $2.2 trillion. But the first point that you made, I wanted to touch on that. You were talking about the tariffs. Right, you just kind of related it back to how like the Kamala Harris campaign is calling it, you know, like a sales tax, and then that's kind of all you said. Yeah, I don't really care what they're calling it. I agree. That's just a term that they use to convince the average American that doesn't know much about what a tariff is, that it's really bad. But at the end of the day, the impact of the tariff, right, still does serve as a detriment to the consumer. And you were very careful with your words here, because you told me that tax, right, that tariff, isn't fully paid by the consumer, implicitly kind of conceding there that some of it is, right? And that's what I'm talking about. That is a tax that in some sorts is passed off to the consumer. We could also consider other attributes, such as the idea when we reduce the overall supply of a good with a constant demand, the price will go up. That's basic macroeconomics. That's going to happen when we reduce the amount of imported goods without increasing the amount of like supply manufactured here at home in the U.S. At the end of the day, tariffs are bad. This is a unilateral, agreed upon consensus. Republicans and Democrats alike. You go to any economist, they'll tell you this, unless they don't have the necessary qualifications to be, and that's a fact. And then when we kind of consider these tariffs alongside his policy disproportionately benefiting the rich man and seemingly at the expense of the poor man with these tariffs, it becomes quite clear. If we want to serve to the average American in their best interests, we need to be voting for Kamala Harris because her policy does exactly that. I mean, 83% of the tax
That's just
cuts in the
rhetoric.
TCJA, not at all. 83% of the tax cuts in the TCGA for the last 7 years went to the top 1%.
Beautiful.
I mean, is that just rhetoric?
Okay,
I mean,
is it my turn?
Go for it, sir.
Okay, so with regard to tariffs, yes, some of the cost is passed down to the consumer, but it's marginal. And the point of tariffs is to reshore manufacturing. I'll give you a perfect example. China has now become the largest manufacturer of electric cars. Huge industry. You could buy an electric car in China for $10,000. Tesla does not cost $10,000. If we allow China to dump their electric cars in America, there goes Tesla. There goes our American electric car manufacturing. It's a national security problem. There's a lot of problems. You have to put tariffs on the cars. Probably China will send them here regardless because they're still so cheap. And yeah, they're not going to be $10,000, but there's a value in making cars in America. There's a value, and by the way, because then Americans get those jobs. So, you could say that free trade creates the lowest costs, but the only reason it creates the lowest costs is because they can undercut us with wages and with their lower standard of living and monetary policy that they have in their own country. So tariffs are essential for a holistic understanding of the economy. The increase in prices is marginal. It's not significant. And when you call it a consumer tax or a sales tax, that does matter because they're conflating that with a VAT tax. That's very different. The 15, 20% and I don't know that they're doing it on every country, so I'll take your word for it. It's not going to be passed down to consumers beyond a marginal amount. That's one. In terms of, you said, oh, well, Trump had more deficit spending. Almost all of that is accounted for by the pandemic. Almost all of it. When you say, well, Trump had a $8 trillion deficit, that was because of the COVID stimulus, the PPP, the cash payments.
Half of it.
Almost all of it. And here's the point.
Go to CRDF.org.
Hang on. I'll let you finish.
Yes, sir.
You said, so the structural problems with deficit spending, they're there under Trump. They're there under Harris. And by the way, Republicans tried to get limitations on the deficit. That's what they got elected on. Republicans regained control of Congress in 22, saying they'd limit the deficit. They negotiated it over the debt ceiling negotiations last year. They negotiated it over military appropriations last year with the October 1st deadline. Tried to negotiate it this year. Democrats wouldn't come to the table on deficit reduction. Either way, the deficit is baked into the cake, okay? The debt is $30 trillion. Interest rates are high. Interest to service the debt is going up. Neither Harris or Trump is meaningfully going to reduce the debt or the deficit, so it's just moot. Without bringing down Social Security and Medicare, just forget about it. Without bringing down the military, it's not going to happen. And there are these extraordinary measures like COVID and Ukraine war. It's really neither here nor there. Also, I think deficit is really besides the point. If you want to get further into the deficit,
I've heard a Republican say that, by the way.
Yeah, well, I'm not a normal Republican. I'm not like a fiscal conservative, okay? Look,
do you mind if I respond to the points that you made so far?
What's that?
Do you mind if I respond to the points that you've made so far?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lose track of what you said.
Sure.
So, first of all, you said that
real quick, Dean, I'm not cutting you off. Guys, we just have 10 minutes on this topic. Just 10 more minutes on this topic. Go ahead, Dean.
Okay,
right. So the first claim that you made, that tariff isn't passed off to the consumer, yeah, that's wrong, because what would the point of the tariff be then? Okay, we see an increase in domestic production given tariffs because that is passed off to the consumer. Would you agree there?
No, absolutely not.
Okay, so then why do we see an increase in domestic production given tariffs?
Because when you produce something in China, you can make it for cheaper, so your margin is bigger, so you can undercut
But you make
prices.
it more expensive for the consumer at the grocery store by imposing those tariffs, right? And then secondly,
Not necessarily.
I agree with you.
Again, because China will pay the tariff to get their goods to the market because they need access to the market.
But then why won't we buy it? Because it costs more money. right? And that's
Yeah,
my whole
well,
argument, is that tariffs cause the end consumer to pay more at the grocery store, to pay more at Best Buy, to pay more at the car dealership.
Do you know
But
what a
there's
tariff
another point that
is?
you brought up there. It's a tax on an import. And there's another point that you brought up there about how we want to like spur domestic production of goods. I don't disagree. I absolutely agree. We should have a more industrialized economy where we produce goods here at home in America. We just disagree on how we get there, right? How
do we get there without tariffs?
Yeah, sure. Right, by driving further competition through the natural market. We do that via investment.
What's
we do
the
that
natural market?
We do that by investing in money. Investing in money. That was crazy. Investing in U.S. producers of goods, like the Chips and Science Act under Biden and Harris' administration, that invested billions of dollars into U.S. chip producers to further drive competition, right, with those imported goods, just via innovation in the product, right? And the fact that you, as a conservative, are sitting here telling me that we need a government to impose a regulation on the free market by tariffing those goods that are being imported to our country is just new. You know what I mean? Right?
Well, it may be new to you because, like, your only context of Republican is, like, Reagan. But if you go back to Henry Clay and Friedrich List and the American system, Alexander Hamilton, the country was basically funded by tariffs until we had an income tax.
Yeah, do you know why?
We only had an income tax 100 years ago. Before that, the federal government made its money from tariffs.
Yeah,
and by
but
the way,
you know
it's
why?
just basic mercantilism because we want to make the stuff. And by the way, when you say, well, we're just going to invest, it doesn't work. China's dollar goes 3 times as far because the standard of living is lower. They're rich in raw materials. They have an endless supply of labor, cheap labor. The idea you're going to chips and sciences your way out of China having systemic advantages, economic factors of production like labor. They have 1.5 billion people. You're not going to pass a bill that's going to change those fundamental imbalances in the economy. We have capital, we have tech, we have entrepreneurship. They have labor. Okay, it's the same reason. Hang on, and it's the same reason why we're even when we try to. They call it friend shoring. We're gonna take our factories from China and give them to our allies like Philippines. It's still going to China because they have all the cheap labor. You just can't compete with that. You can't compete with the fact that they make everything. They have all the people. So you agree that we should reindustrialize. You literally cannot do that unless you protect industry. And by the way, China has tariffs too. All countries have tariffs. We're the country that doesn't have tariffs. They're eating our lunch as a result. So, you know, that's just not true. What you're saying isn't true.
No, Donald Trump's taken away the average American's lunch as a result. Like, once again, we've already went over how tariffs can cause prices at the grocery store to go higher. Every single time we've historically increased tariffs on China, what have we seen? A reduction in U.S. agricultural exports. What did Trump have to do when he imposed his tariffs on China? He had to bail out American farmers with $28 billion. You say you want American industrialization. You say you want more U.S. production of goods. But then you also say that you want these tariffs on China to absolutely destroy American farmers. And you want the average American to be worse off, meaning they have less economic mobility to go and start a business in the first place. This is why Kamala Harris's tax policy is better, right? Because
this
what
is
we're not
like
going to
Democrat talking points.
Okay, well, can you dispute them?
Yeah, like I said, tariffs, the other country will pay the cost of the tariff. Okay, you're saying consumers will pay it, and that's just wrong. Okay,
so you
Under
don't
the
think that
Trump
tariffs drive up
administration,
the
hang
price
on,
of the price of
Trump
goods?
administration, I'll give you a perfect example. Trump administration implemented tariffs against Canada, against Europe, against China. Inflation was low. Oh, hang on. Inflation was like 1.3% under Trump. Okay, so if what you're saying is true, that the cost of the tariff would be passed down to the consumer 1-to-1 or even significantly, inflation would not remain at or around 1%. Why? If and by the way, Biden administration has tariffs too. Inflation is very high, but the cost of goods going up has everything to do with fuel prices going up.
Hey guys, we got 5 more
because
minutes.
of the war in Ukraine.
Hey,
And
yeah,
it's
5 more minutes.
Everything to do
5 more
with
minutes, Nick.
Okay.
A very
Got it.
crucial point. A very
With the
crucial point here.
quantitative easing.
If they don't cause inflation of the pricing of goods at the grocery store, then why would we see an increase in domestic production?
Because it will make it competitive for America to make the same things.
How?
If China, because it's basic math. If it
Explain it to
costs I'm going to if you stop interrupting me. If it costs less to make something in China because they have abundant labor than it does in the United States, then China can sell it at a lower price because their cost is lower. But if we make them pay more to bring their goods to the market, then they have to sell it for more, or they have to pay the tariff and they make
Nick,
less profit.
Nick,
And that
you
makes
just
it
agreed with me.
profitable for
If they
American
have to-
companies to make.
if
Can you
Chinese
stop
profit-
interrupting me? Can you
if
hang on?
Chinese products cost more?
Can
what
you
does
stop
that
interrupting
mean
me,
for the
please?
Consumer? Sure.
It adds, but who pays the cost? China pays the cost to bring it to the market, not the consumer.
And who pays
Okay?
the cost once it's in the market?
Well, the consumer does.
Thank you.
But they're
We have
buying.
5 minutes.
But they're buying what they're already buying. They're just buying it from an American producer.
Yeah, for a higher price, right?
Yeah, so for a slightly marginally higher price, so we can have American production.
Okay. Okay. Yes,
But there's
there
also
we go.
economies
There we
of
go.
scale.
Thank you.
It stimulates American industry, and then America's able to produce what China would ordinarily produce.
Okay. All right. And America will produce it for a more expensive price because we don't have as cheap of labor as they
It protects the American industry, which
by
is
causing
undercut.
inflation, right? Can you agree with me there?
Marginal. It's
Okay,
marginal.
Marginal increases.
But either way,
we're getting somewhere.
But it's really neither here. Well, and I said that earlier, so it's the same thing. But either way, the Biden administration has tariffs too, so it's basically a moot point.
No, it's not a moot point because once again, he wants to impose tariffs on all.
But you
goods
disagree with the Biden administration's policy, right?
Absolutely, right. I do
Okay,
disagree
so
with tariffs.
what are we even arguing about?
110%.
Trump had
Well, I mean-
tariffs. Biden has tariffs.
No,
Tariffs
no.
protect industry in America. You support that.
No, so the
And
reason
yet-
that this is the reason that this is a bad argument is because Trump wants more tariffs, right? I don't understand how this isn't evidently clear. I think what you're trying to do is kind of confuse people between me saying that tariffs that Biden and Harris imposed were bad, and me saying that when Donald Trump is elected, he wants to impose all tariffs on
That's
all
just not
imported
true.
goods. Right? One
That's
is
just
worse
not
than
true.
another. Okay, so
They're
say
not.
that
They're
he
not
doesn't
putting
wanna impose
tariffs
flat
on all imported goods.
Okay, does he just want to keep the ones on China?
It's going to be on. I don't know the Trump policy, but it's not on all imported goods. That's just
Okay,
a
so then how
Democrat
is he going to
lie.
pay for the $4.8 trillion associated
You can
with his
fact
tax
check
cuts?
that.
Then how is he
Borrowing.
going to pay for
Borrowing, like
from
they
him?
pay for all, like how they pay
Borrowing
for
from- borrowing from the
175
Treasury?
billion to
And what's
Yeah.
the biggest expense of our government?
liabilities.
Liabilities, no. It's interest on
Medicare,
debt.
Social Security. That's totally wrong.
No, the biggest expense of our federal government is interest on debt.
Totally wrong.
Okay, I don't think that's wrong. In
It's
fact, I think that is
liabilities.
totally correct.
Okay, we're wrapping
Okay.
up on time here. Let's we'll give a.
Well, you're
closing
wrong on the
statement.
Trump policy and you're wrong on spending.
Okay,
You're
we'll give
just
a 1
wrong.
minute closing to Dean started, so we'll a 1 minute closing for Dean and then 1 minute for Nick.
Oh, you could go first, Nick.
Who gave the first opening statement? You or me?
It was Dean who started first.
Yeah, so Dean, we want
Oh.
to let Nick finish.
That means I go last. That means I go last.
Dean, you start.
And then Dean, the next one, Nick will start.
Okay, all right, yeah, that's fine. I was just looking first, so I should justify what I said there. So yeah, my closing statement would just be, right, obviously I think that economic policy is a very prime reason to vote for Kamala Harris because she's going to make the average American better off. Donald Trump is not going to make the average American the better off. He's going to make them worse off with his tariffs. Right, Nick essentially did concede there, saying that tariffs do cause higher prices for the consumers at the grocery store. And then Nick also just kind of says that he doesn't really care about debt, okay? So
True.
If you want more debt, vote for Donald Trump because he's going to throw $5.8 trillion on our nation's debt. Meanwhile, Kamala Harris's proposed tax policy is going to be self-sufficient over the 10-year lifespan of the bill. And then one other final point here, there's much more reasons why Kamala Harris is a better candidate than Donald Trump that we didn't get a touch on, such as the fact that we probably shouldn't be voting for a rapist. We probably shouldn't be voting for a religious persecutor. We should probably be voting for the individual that wants to enshrine federal protections for all 170 million American women and girls' right to choose, right? And plenty of other reasons that we didn't get to. And I'm sad that we didn't. And hopefully we might be able to get back around to it later. But I'll go and concede the rest of my time. Take it away.
Yeah, all right. Well, Aiden and Sneeko, can we do immigration? I feel like that's a big one. We could do a few of these other issues
real
because
quick,
it's
before-
a big issue.
Can you just do your statement really quick?
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, can we make that one of the topics?
Well, that's something that we had to talk about prior. Dean, if you would like to as well, we could do that the next.
Can you repeat that? I was a little
He
bit.
wants to talk about immigration. If you want to keep Trump or Kamala going, we have other subjects, but on the subject of Trump and Kamala,
You guys didn't agree to that prior, but if you guys want to agree to do an immigration, we can do that next. It's up to you guys. Both of you have to agree.
Yeah, you just want to see. I mean, like maybe we could throw it in there at the end. I mean, get through the 4 topics we have agreed upon.
Sure.
And if there's time, we might be able to talk about it.
Okay. So please give your closing statement, Nick.
Yeah, so I mean, my closing statement on Trump, I don't even think fiscal policy is the biggest issue. To me, that's really a side issue. And the reason is because both parties are profligate spenders. Republicans, Democrats are both profligate spenders. Bush, Obama, Trump, Biden, they're all huge spenders. They're huge spenders on the military. They're not touching liabilities. You know, there's talk about tax cuts increasing the deficit. You can look at the Laffer curve and, you know, debate whether that's really the case. I mean, the theory behind tax cuts is that it stimulates economic growth, which it certainly does. It brings in more tax revenue. Maybe you find that convincing. Maybe you don't. Point is, neither party's going to rein in the deficit. I just don't think it's an issue. In terms of tariffs, the consensus has changed. Democrats and Republicans used to be free traders. They're not anymore. Bill Clinton, Bush, Obama were free traders. They're just not anymore. Trump is not a free trader. Biden's not a free trader. Trump has tariffs. Biden has tariffs. And that's because there's a recognition that we need to have a supply chain in America. 85% of the economy in America is services. Only 15% is construction, agriculture, and manufacturing. And this is it's not only a national security issue, but it's also a jobs issue. We need to make stuff in America. The only way that we're going to beat these other countries that are undercutting us with wages is with tariffs to protect our industries. And yes, that does result in technically marginally higher consumer prices, but it's more important to have good jobs in industry.
All right, that was good. So we'll circle back to Trump and Kamala, but to keep it on the subject, we have 4 very different topics right now.
Real quick, before, I just want to say thank you both for giving you guys, you guys are letting each other talk and stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. Go ahead, Sneeko. I'm sorry to cut you off.
All right, so the next subject that we agreed upon was Christianity, but to make it interesting, Nick, we can be more specific. We could talk about Christian nationalism.
Sure.
Okay, so the subject will be, is Christian nationalism good or bad? And,
okay.
Well, let's start with Nick because we started with Dean last time. We'll do let's do 3-minute intro. I'll give you a 1-minute warning, and then I'll give Dean a 3-minute intro, and then we'll go free flowing. And if it's interruptions, we'll time it. But I think it was good so far. But Nick, take the floor. 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, I believe that America should have a religious government. We should have a Christian, Catholic government. And, we have to face the fact that liberalism has failed. And the best example that liberalism is failing is that we're not having enough kids. The society, the civilization that doesn't have kids will cease to exist, and it will lose. And it is losing. Liberalism around the world is receding, and these more ancient, tribal, perennial cultures are thriving. Islam is the fastest growing religion. China is on the rise. Tribalism, racialism, all these things, all these revanchist, historic ideologies are on the rise, and they're all beating back liberalism because liberalism is weak. It is ineffectual. It's causing all kinds of perversity, degeneracy. People are not having kids. It's just sort of like anti-human and inimical to the human body. So, I mean, in addition to Catholicism and Christianity being true, liberalism is clearly bankrupt. Liberalism is clearly having a hard time. I think we should replace our state religion of liberalism with the state religion of Christianity. And I'm interested to see where Dean wants to take it, because obviously it's a huge topic, but I think we should have a Catholic country, not a liberal atheist one.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of different ways that a conversation about Christian nationalism can go. I mean, I've debated people on Christian nationalism before that will concede even if Christianity's false, right? We should still be, a country that upholds Christian nationalism because it promotes better outcomes. But I think there's a couple points there that you made I'd just like to respond to real quick about declining birth rates, immigration. That's crazy. Then about, a couple of the other points that you brought up. I particularly think that Christian nationalism is bad because it doesn't allow us to effectively legislate. Given the Christian religion, right, we are led to believe that particular things are wrong because God said so. You said that you're a Catholic. I think in the Catholic faith, you'll kind of have different range on how bad things are. Something can be a mortal sin, a venial sin. But something that I'd say here that is a very absurd conclusion given Christian nationalism is shit like blasphemy. So blasphemy, as defined by the Bible, is the worst sin that anyone can commit. Does that mean that people should go to jail for life for blasphemy? Well, I don't know, because we know that people should go to jail for life for murder, and if blasphemy is worse than murder, and we're operating under a system in a society with a government that legislates on the basis of the Bible and these foundational beliefs as prescribed by Christianity, are we going to start sending people to jail for blasphemy too? I don't see how you'd be able to respond to that. I don't. And then, a couple other things that we could say here. The Bible promotes very harmful, bad beliefs. I mean, 1 Samuel 15:3, God tells Saul and his men to genocide the Amalekite men, women, and girls. I bet if I was to engage in a conversation with this guy specifically about 1 Samuel 15:3, he'll end up saying that sometimes genocide's okay. Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46. God tells the Israelites that they can own the non-Israelites as human property for life. I bet if I was to have a conversation with this guy about that topic, he'd end up saying that no, slavery hasn't always been wrong, alongside other things, right? So we could talk about how Christianity is false. We could talk about how it doesn't allow us to effectively legislate. We could talk about the absurdities that are already present in the Bible. But one last point that I'd like to bring up is if you're going to make an argument on the basis of the efficacy and the outcomes in which it would generate in society, which seemingly you started to there, well, what if we find another religion that generates better outcomes than the one that you hold to?
1 minute.
Okay, so if the reason that you want a Christian nation is because it will promote human well-being and happiness, people are going to be having more kids and following these commandments, they'll be doing good, no degeneracy, none of that shit. Well, what if I told you that the LDS Church had even better outcomes than the Catholic Church? Would you all of a sudden be in support of an LDS-led state? Probably not. Okay, right? So that's another contradiction on its own. So feel free to kind of pick and choose there, respond to the point that you want, take it away.
So you said about birth rates or immigration. Well, here's the problem. Okay, one, the people that have liberalism are killing themselves. Okay, so the people that invented liberalism, that live in liberal societies, literally and figuratively are killing themselves. They're committing suicide. They're dying.
The guy that you worship.
Okay, are you going to interrupt me like 30 seconds into my rebuttal? That's crazy. No confidence in liberalism. They commit suicide. They die from desperate despair. They're addicted to drugs, all kinds of things. They're all dying over there. Okay, we're dying in America. We're dying in Europe. And by the way, these people come from non-liberal or illiberal societies, and then their birth rate goes down. So even if you wanted to argue, oh, well, like, we could salvage liberalism with an endless supply of immigration from illiberal societies that have kids, when they get here, their birth rate goes down. And these are not liberal people. They come from illiberal places like China or Africa or Latin America. They come here, they assimilate, and within a few generations, because liberalism is suicidal. With regard to the question about efficacy and outcomes, I'm not arguing that we should have the religion with the best efficacy. I said liberalism has failed, and we know it's failed because it's committing suicide. So clearly liberalism as a system is not working. And that's why, it's such a radical notion. People think that we would have blasphemy laws or religious laws. They think it's a radical notion. It's unthinkable. The current system must be replaced. It's an imperative. It's not a question of, whether or how or anything like that. It simply must be because it will cease to exist. And so that's really the crux of the argument. Why it should be Catholicism. It's because Catholicism is true. But the point I'm trying to make is for people that say, it's so radical that we would go backwards. I would say we went backwards with liberalism as evidenced by the fact that it's not even reproducing itself. And that's a huge problem. With regard to the stuff about the Old Testament, I mean, look, the Catholic Church, Christians today are not in favor of genocide or slavery. If you want to get into that, this is just like new atheism 101. Are you an atheist? Are you an atheist or something?
I'm an agnostic, but I wouldn't particularly use these verses in the Bible to say that your religion is false. I use these verses in the Bible to say that your religion is absurd. To say that your religion is false.
I just wanted to ask you that, and then let me finish the last point. So it's very funny when atheists who have no objective source of morality, it's like, their morality is something like, hey man, just leave everybody alone. What if I disagree? What if my morality says, well, I want to kill everybody or something? What if the majority of people said our morality says, well, we want to harm and we want to rape and we want to do this and that? An atheist has no God that says, well, so-and-so has the authority to say this is correct. That's a problem. And yet they have a problem with blasphemy laws. It is good to have a God that is a source of authority, that gives us our morality, that is unquestionable. With regard to the Old Testament, if you want to get into the debate about, what's bad, I would start with the question of how do you know what's bad?
Hey, Nick, I'm sorry
You
to cut
claim
you
that
off.
certain
Nick.
things are bad. You don't know where good and bad comes from. And how do we know the good and bad are even real? If we're all material, if we're only atoms and we don't have souls, why does it matter what happens to any of us? I mean, what is justice? Is there such a thing as the conceptual? If there is only matter, where is the conceptual? Can we see it? Can we feel it? Is it located somewhere?
Let's let you respond now.
Well, and I'm making a point here. I'll wrap it up quickly. So for an atheist to point to the Old Testament and say, well, how could a God who does these things be so immoral? I would say to the godless, what is moral, and who are we if we're not just stardust being rearranged? I mean, slavery, these things, these are conceptual. It can only exist with a real philosophical viewpoint, not with this kind of lame, like, Spy Daddy isn't real sort of stuff. So, you know, there's just a lot of assumptions there that kind of need to be interrogated.
Okay, Dean.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think
before
what
you go,
needs to
Dean.
be interrogated is the fact that you asked me, well, what do I do with a group of people who likes to murder, rape, and kill others? What if God said that?
Then
you know,
we
I
would
think
have
that's
to
a
do
question
it.
that we need to ask.
Then we would have to do it.
Wait, really? If God told you to rape and kill a baby, would you do it?
Well, God would never do that because God is good and those things are evil.
Okay, so raping and killing is evil. So when he commanded
Well,
people
Ace,
to
you
kill the
said
babies in
raping
Malachi in
babies.
1 Samuel 15:3, that was evil?
God is telling us to rape and kill babies right now?
So specifically about killing, in 1 Samuel 15:3, he did command Saul and his men to kill the Amalekite babies.
Rape babies? He told them to rape babies?
No, to kill babies.
Well, yeah, then if I were one of those guys, I would have done it, but not rape them.
Okay, so if God commanded you to kill a baby today, would you do it?
Yes.
Okay, so why would you kill a baby, but you wouldn't rape a baby?
Because that would be cruel or something.
Wait, is killing a baby not cruel?
In the Old Testament,
today if God asked you, but you
if
wouldn't
God
rape,
told us,
rape
yeah.
a baby if God asked you. So how come
Not
you kill a
rape.
baby today, but not rape a baby?
Because the context of the Old Testament is that it's a fallen world, and that's the context you're talking about. You said that in the Old Testament,
Dude, we're not
God
talking
said
about
to-
dude. Please
Hang
answer
on.
my
Yeah,
question.
we
This is a
literally
damning
are.
non-answer.
Well,
You
if we're
told
not
me
talking about
today-
wait. If we're not talking about
Give
the
me
Old
30
Testament,
seconds.
what are we talking about?
About the fact that you told me today, if God commanded you to kill a baby, you would do it. And then I followed that up by asking you, if God commanded you to rape a baby, would you do it? And you said
But God
no,
wouldn't do that because
that's
it's evil.
cruel. Okay, so killing a baby today, you would do if God commanded it, but raping a baby today, you wouldn't do because God wouldn't command it.
Well,
because
you-
it's evil.
first of
are you
all-
making the implication that killing
first
a
of
baby
all-
today isn't evil?
No. What you said is that in
Okay,
the
so
Old
then you
Testament.
wouldn't do that either, right?
Well, hang
This is
on.
seemingly a
Let's
contradiction.
rewind. Let's rewind because you said in the Bible God says to rape babies. Can you just
No, I
retract
said
that
kill
because that never
babies.
happened?
No,
No,
I
if you
said kill
rewind.
babies.
Yeah, okay. People can rewind the clip. You said kill and rape babies because you got and rape
we'll
people
clear
because
this
you
up
got a
so
little
easily.
ahead of yourself. Because you got a
Nick,
little
we'll
ahead of
clear this up
yourself.
Nick,
that
I will
never
literally
happened.
clear this up so easily.
Okay.
If I said God commanded Saul and his men to rape babies in 1 Samuel 15:3, I misspoke. In 1
Okay,
Samuel
thank you.
15:3,
Thank you,
God
yeah.
commands Saul
But-
and his
but see,
men
that's
to
the
kill
problem.
babies. But you are not answering my question. This is a damning non-answer.
am.
Every single person watching this stream can see that you said if God commanded you to kill a baby today, you said you would do it. Can you affirm
Can we
that
be
fact?
serious? Can we be serious for a second?
We are being dead serious. Can you affirm the fact that you said if God told you to kill a baby, you do it?
Can we be serious? Can we grow up?
Why won't you
So-
answer my question?
Well, because we're talking about the Old Testament, are we not?
Dude, we're talking about today. How many times do I need to say that?
You're talking about the Old Testament. You're citing the Old Testament. You're talking about a specific verse in the Old Testament.
Oh my God,
You
this
can,
is
you
crazy.
can look. You can giggle.
No, I
but
specifically
can we
asked you-
confirm that we're talking about the Old Testament? Is that
No.
correct?
That is
What are we
not
talking
correct.
about?
Exactly. I'll tell you exactly what we're talking about. We are talking about the fact that I asked you a damning hypothetical question. I asked you
It's
if
not.
God
It's a
one
cheap.
moment. Do you mind if I have
it's
30
a
seconds?
cheap context. No. It's
You're
a cheap
interrupting me because
context
you don't want me to
denial.
talk because you know that you're losing.
Yeah, because the Old Testament says bad things in it. I know. I'm a new atheist, and I just discovered. Here's my answer to your question, if you allow me to answer it. I know you want a cheap gotcha question, but let's add a little context. The Old Testament takes place in a fallen world. We live in a fallen world because we have free will. Okay, God created human beings. Human beings disobeyed God and sinned. Because we disobeyed God and sinned, we have the penalty of death, war, shame, guilt, pain at birth, all these things. In the fallen world, people kill. In the fallen world, people kill, people lie, cheat, steal. Cain kills Abel. In the world, the fallen world, before Jesus Christ arrived, it was a world with slavery and warfare and iniquity. It is in this context that God commanded the chosen people to kill certain tribes to establish their survival, to secure a line for the coming of the Messiah. God does not approve of killing because it says in the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill. God does not approve of rape because it says, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, and so on and so forth. So God obviously does not support killing, raping. Oh, would you kill and rape a baby? No. But in the Bible, God prescribes laws and specific actions at the beginning of the world, which was fallen without Christ, without a Savior, in sin, for the survival of the chosen people. So the rules worked a little bit differently in the Old Testament. It doesn't mean that, and of course, taking a life in and of itself, hang on, there's a difference everybody knows between killing and murder. If I go and murder you for no reason, that's immoral. If I kill in self-defense or self-defense of my children, it's a different story. God commanding the people of the Old Testament is an extraordinary exception based on the fallen old world. That's one. Two, when Jesus Christ arrives, he fulfills the law and saves people from hell. Before Jesus Christ arrived, nobody could even go to heaven, and it was a world of iniquity. And Jesus Christ changed and created this modern world that we're living in. So now here's the thing. God is the authority. If God commands us to, look, I know it's a complicated issue. You can't fit it into a TikTok where you do the Destiny drive-by and say, Trump's making your grocery prices higher. You know, but it's actually complicated. Where you're talking about evil, the existence of evil. So, does that mean that God is not an authority? Of course not. God is an authority. Would God command us to do those things today? Probably not. But if he did, in a hypothetical scenario, we'd have to trust God if we truly believe in God. Otherwise, you would say something like, we know more than God, or God is not good, or we're better than God, and that negates the concept of a God or good itself. So that's my answer to your, oh, so when you say killing babies, it ties into like abortion policy. It's just like cheap, low IQ, left-wing bullshit. But anyway, go ahead.
Cool, thank you. So I hear everything that you just said. I will give that a great response. I sure did. But before I give that a response, I wanted to take a brief moment to go back to the question that I was attempting to get you to answer prior. I understand that you just kind of gave me the story of the Old and New Covenant. We had different rules before, the Messiah came back down, created the New Covenant, whatever. I get it. Thank you. Okay? But the question that I asked you was, if God commanded you to kill a baby, would you do it? You said yes. I then asked you, Nick Fuentes, if God commanded you to rape a baby, would you do it? And you said, no, that's too cruel. If you'd like to take 15 seconds to kind of clear up that gap, like, does that make the implication that killing a baby isn't cruel?
I answered the question.
You didn't.
Okay. Is this a debate about Christian nationalism, or is this like a weird new atheist? By the way, why do you think killing is wrong? Where do you get that information from?
So first of all, I don't think that killing's inherently wrong. I think that murder is wrong. Okay, the unjustified
okay, so you agree with me then?
Right, and then what I'd say here about murder is that's just going to be driven given my intuitions. I'm a subjectivist, we all know this, but I think you are too. Would you agree with me?
You're subjectivist.
Would you agree with me that objectivism can be defined as like a stance independent, like truth?
It's an independent truth? What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Like a stance independent truth. That's what it means for
a stance independent truth?
Yeah.
Of independent truth, or that there is independent truth?
Okay, wow.
So the sentence construction doesn't make sense.
Okay, so like in philosophy, right? When we're referencing terms such as moral objectivism or moral subjectivism, we define objectivism given like when I say murder is wrong, that is true independent of any stance, of any act, or of any mind. Okay, when I say
I understand what you're saying. I don't understand the construction. I'm not. You're like mumbling to yourself. Yeah,
no,
I believe. Yeah, subjectivism is that there's an independent truth. Yes.
Okay, so is morality independent of God?
No. No, because God is morality. God is good.
So a morality is subject to God.
Okay. Ooh, could God create a box so heavy he couldn't lift it? Yeah, that's great. So if you believe that killing is not...
I didn't give you a contradiction. I just showed you that you're a moral subjectivist.
I know. Thank you. So,
that's cute, huh?
So where do you believe that that killing is wrong then? So you believe it's subjective. You don't believe it's absolutely wrong.
10 minutes.
Yeah, right?
What's that? What's that, Aiden?
10 minutes, guys.
Great. Yeah. So I mean, I could kind of give you a little bit of an overview of my stance here on morality. So metaethically, I'm just gonna be a subjectivist, a relativist. When we like to reference like why I think things are wrong, it's just gonna be driven my intuitions. I mean, like we could talk about different moral frameworks. I myself am what is called a threshold deontologist, meaning that I believe that like particular things can be always wrong, but meanwhile we should consider like the consequences of others. It's pretty interesting.
Is the Holocaust wrong?
Yeah, the Holocaust was wrong.
Objectively?
No, because objective truths in the context of morality doesn't exist. Nothing's
in your opinion it's wrong
because that standard doesn't exist.
In your opinion, it's wrong.
And in accordance with my index standard, it's wrong. Yeah, but I mean, just saying, oh, you believe in subjectivism, but I'm gonna like counter that by asking you, is it objectively wrong? That doesn't really achieve anything. I could literally.
What is your qualification?
Was the Holocaust objectively wrong?
Of course it was wrong. Of course,
but you just agreed with me that morality is subject to God.
Because morality is God. It's identity, not subjectivity.
Wait, God is identical to morality?
Yes, God is good. God is the good.
Okay, so when I say that like hugging your mom is good, I'm just saying that hugging your mom is God?
Yes.
Okay, so can you just say that for me? Like every single time you kiss your wife, that's a really God thing to do?
Love is good. An act of love that expresses love is good. God is the good. God is being itself. We are participating in being.
Oh, wait, now we have some more issues here, because earlier you told me that God would never command you to like rape a baby because that's evil, but now you're saying that God is identical to goodness, meaning if God is all powerful in the sense that he could do anything that's logically possible, and he's identical to goodness, why wouldn't he be able to tell you to rape a baby?
Did you say grape?
I did. TikTok words. I know.
Well, God also tells us that God's plan is very complex.
Why won't you answer my question?
Because these are just like low IQ.
No, that's not a low IQ point at all. We're literally talking about what you think goodness is, what its derivative, and how it would apply to your God. Actually, we could extrapolate this out to the problem of evil as a whole, right? Like you actually said earlier that you think that the Holocaust is objectively wrong. Would you say all
if it happened at all, by the way? But yeah,
okay,
so theoretically,
what the fuck?
In theory,
hey,
no, I'm kidding.
Come on, Nick.
Of course it happened. Wait, do you see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, dude,
like,
Nick,
no,
what
like,
the fuck, bro?
We're talking to, Aiden? Yeah, this guy's over here saying,
oh my
if the Holocaust happened,
oh my
but then he asked me if the Holocaust is objectively wrong. Get a load of this joker. So I just want to ask you a fucking quick
question. Get a load
question.
of this joker.
Oh yeah, get a load of this
joker. How about another joke?
Yo, nothing.
What do you get?
You need to unmute your mic.
Get a load of this.
You want to tell me another joke? Keep talking. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you a question. Would you say all things considered that the Holocaust is wrong?
If it were real, yes. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And it absolutely is.
You're so fucking spineless. How the fuck can you sit in front of 45,000 people and say that the most well-documented thing that has ever happened in history might not have happened? I want to ask you a question. How the fuck do you know that Jesus resurrected from the dead, but you don't know if the Holocaust happened? Please answer that question.
Shroud of Turin.
Shroud of Turin? That's been 100%. Taken by multiple. The Shroud of Turin is a more reliable standard for evidence than the 250 independent sources that would justify that the Holocaust exists.
Listen, this isn't a Holocaust debate. Let's try to stay focused. This is a Christianity debate.
No, let's talk about it. The Shroud of Turin specifically, we had 4 different group of scientists take different parts of it. None of them could date it back to anything after 400 years AD.
I'm just saying it's a lot of people.
No. I want you to tell me how the fuck you know that Jesus rose from the dead with a lack of any historical evidence that exists from during his lifetime from a first-person experience.
Calm down.
Yet
this is
you
a factual
don't think
debate.
The Holocaust happened.
This is a factual debate, Kamala. Tampon Tim.
Yeah,
hey,
go
listen,
for the emotions
Tampon
because you
Tim,
know
this
that you're
is
losing
about
the argument.
facts. 1, Shroud of Turin. Impossible to create other than with Jesus ascending into heaven. That's 1. 2, all I'm saying is, that's a lot of bodies. Unless we forgot the technology to cremate them. Look, I don't know. I wasn't there, and you weren't either.
The Shroud of Turin. Wait. So you're telling me that it was absolutely impossible for some
impossible
for the Shroud of Turin to exist? Then please tell me why.
You don't know the facts.
Then please tell me
why
the facts. Tell me why the earliest carbon dating on the Shroud of Turin that we've gotten from the material used to create the Shroud of Turin is like from 1200 AD.
That's not true. That's not even true.
It's either 400
You can
or
fact check that.
AD.
That's not even true. They just did a new study on it, and they proved it's 100% real.
They proved it's 100% real.
It's 100%. It's like super real. That's 1.
Okay.
2, we have secular historians that testified that Jesus was a real person and was crucified. Josephus, Tacitus. We also have...
Josephus isn't secular. Let's get our facts straight. He was a Jewish
he was Jewish. Okay, he was Jewish. I mean non-Christian. Thank you for the clarification. Are we good?
Secular mean non-Christian?
Are we good? You know what I meant. I mean, if you were to say that a Christian source is biased, then arguably a non-Christian source would be unbiased. That's the point. Josephus, Tacitus. But you also have the earliest versions of the gospel stories going back to the 1st century. The earliest fragments of it go back to the 1st century. And you have people that went to their death That's part of why Christianity spread. They went to their death. The Christians were martyred, testifying that they saw a resurrected Jesus. Liars don't go to their death testifying that something happened if it didn't. Certainly not, 11 out of 12 of them, or every single one of them. And that is the basis of how it spread in the ancient world. So, there's that. There's the Shroud of Turin. There's non-Christian historians. There's the fragments of the gospel.
Yeah, so
there's the prophecies that are fulfilled by Jesus in the New Testament.
So the Shroud of Turin, that shit just goes straight out the fucking window. We have carbon dated it. Not a piece of it dates back to when Jesus was alive in accordance with Josephus and Tacitus, which you reported.
Carbon dating is flawed.
Oh, okay.
Carbon dating is flawed. And there was, that's not true.
It's earlier than it is, but we just don't know it.
And that's not true. Well, one, it's not real because carbon dating says that like dinosaurs.
Then how do we know that it was from Jesus?
And two, there was recent study done. How do we know it's from Jesus? There was a recent study that was done that showed that it literally would not even be possible using the technology at the time to create a forgery. So it had to have been created by something with luminosity that just didn't exist back then for it to imprint throughout the entire shroud. They didn't have that kind of technology back then.
Wait, I have a question.
It's impossible to create it any other way.
Do you mind if I ask you a question here? Okay, so I like this argument. Let's just go ahead and say that you're right. It was impossible to create without some sort of divinity. Jesus Christ is a prophet of the Islamic religion. Can you please give me any reason to believe that Christianity is true more so than Islam being true?
That's just a stupid question.
This luminosity could be granted, either Islam being true
or
Christianity
what Muslims
being true.
Let me ask you this question. Do you know what Muslims believe about Jesus Christ and the crucifixion? Can you tell me?
Prophet of God. He didn't actually die on the cross. Someone else stepped in his shoes.
So what was the Shroud of Turin? Do you know?
Oh, it was over him in the burial.
So how would we know Islam isn't true? Well, let's see. If he wasn't actually crucified, then how would they lay the shroud over his body and his soul leave to make the imprint? So you don't even know what you're talking about.
No, you don't know what you're talking about.
Tried to work it out on the fly. Doesn't even know the order of how could the Muslim Jesus leave the Shroud of Turin imprint if he was never crucified and then therefore
because what did they say about the person that was crucified?
Hello?
What did they say about the person that was crucified? Who did he look like? Who did he present as?
But he wasn't Jesus, so he wouldn't have ascended into heaven and left the luminosity. It would be he was a lookalike.
Oh, that's terrible.
You can say that, but you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, wait, I don't know.
Normal people, they said it was a body double, someone who looked like Jesus. Normal people don't leave a luminous imprint on the shroud they put on them at the point of death. So the lookalike wouldn't have done that.
Wait, I'm just curious. Can you give me the study?
I don't know the name of it off the top of my head, but it was recently completed.
Sure, I would love to.
You should investigate it. You'd probably become a Christian if you're being objective.
Hey guys, let's do Hey, real quick. Let's do a 2-minute closing statement. We're gonna start with you, Nick. We're gonna get on to the next topic. Go ahead.
Sure. So, the good news is we just had a platform to demonstrate the historicity of the resurrection of Jesus. You do have real archaeological evidence like the Shroud of Turin. You have the Gospels, you have the secular historians. No serious historian would testify that Jesus wasn't real or didn't live or wasn't crucified. And if Christianity spread throughout the Roman Empire, it's because of the well-documented martyrdom of the disciples of the early church. If you would go to your death testifying that something, a lie or a fabrication didn't happen, then maybe you believe they all faked it. I think that you go to your death only if you saw something true. And even still, people won't tell the truth if they're afraid of the mafia. You would only go to your death telling the truth if it was God in the flesh. So I think that's just all obvious. With all that being said, we should have a Catholic government. We all have a conscience. The moral law comes from God. It's also written on our hearts, and we know it. And that's where our intuition comes from. The subjective idea that we get from rationality or empiricism that murder is wrong, that rape is wrong, the same objections agnostics and atheists raise against the Bible. And the thing is about the Old Testament, if people are turned off by that, it really just amounts to the problem of evil itself. Evil exists in the world that was created by a good God. This is answered by the philosophical concept of the privation of evil. Prior to the coming of Jesus Christ, it was a world without the good, and therefore it was evil, and thus there was no mercy, compassion, those sorts of things. But it's a very complicated topic. I hope people aren't turned off when they hear, bad things happen in the ancient world, therefore there can be no God. It's obviously false. So anyway, so that's just the long and short of the whole Christian debate distilled.
Yeah, sure. So I'll go to give my closing statement.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, dude.
First, about the Shroud of Turin, anyone watching, feel free to look up any of the multiple groups of scientists that have dated the Shroud of Turin. Not a single one of them have been able to place a date on the Shroud of Turin from a point when Jesus was alive. So that's automatically thrown out of the window. About Nick's second point there, specifically about the people that went to their deaths after seeing the quote-unquote resurrected Jesus, this is something we see in all religions. I want you to go ahead and look up Prophet Muhammad's grandson in the context of the Islamic religion. He was martyred because of his beliefs in his grandfather being a prophet of God. That's present always. If this makes a religion true, all religions would be true. About your third point about the historicity of Jesus Christ, we have no first-hand accounts about Jesus Christ or his life. I do think that he was a real man that lived and died via a crucifixion, but Josephus, Tacitus, all these people came long after he died, and I think it's crazy that you're going to sit here and say that we have sufficient historical evidence to justify that Jesus Christ died and resurrected from the dead, but we don't have historical evidence to justify that the Holocaust happened and 6 million Jewish people died. I can give you a source right now that 6 million people did die. In fact, I could give you 200. For everyone watching, look up holocaustcontroversies.blogspot.com. It will give you an index to publish evidence on mass extermination in Auschwitz in Germany. There will be over 200 sources there, much more abundant evidence than what he could ever give for the existence of Jesus Christ and the idea that he's our God. So already contradictory there. And about the last point about the problem of evil, you said that the privation of evil was the fact that there wasn't a lot of good before Jesus came. No, the privation of evil is an ontological status of evil. Okay? So you don't know what your philosophical terms mean. You're also confusing what the problem of evil is. Okay? Right? I would say my problem of evil would be the fact
20 seconds, Dean.
God's all good, God's all perfect, and God's all powerful, and nothing evil should exist in the world that we live in. I wish that we could have a longer discussion about this, man. Get into philosophy, show you that you don't know shit. But I guess we're going to move on to the next topic.
Thank you, guys. All right, we're gonna do topic number 3. Is
homosexuality bad? And we'll start with Dean again. I'll give you a 3-minute intro. Same thing to Nick, 3 minute, and then I like the free flowing. It's been good so far.
I probably won't,
Go ahead. Go ahead, Dean.
All right, no worries. Yeah, so I probably won't need all 3 minutes. It'll be pretty easy. I don't think that being gay is wrong because there's no good reason to believe that it is wrong. There's just, multiple arguments that, Nick could probably give me. One would just be gay wrong because Sky Daddy says so in the Bible. Another argument you could give me is something to do with, like, telos, like the natural function of our bodies. It would indicate that we have a prescriptive purpose on how we're supposed to use them. That's not how we're supposed to use them. I'd say that doesn't exist. At the end of the day, my stance is clear. Being gay is not wrong because there's no reason for it to be wrong. And I guess we'll just hear Nick's reason why it is wrong, because that's probably where we're going to start. So I'll concede the rest of my time. Take it away, Nick.
Yeah, I love the Sky Daddy thing. It's like the idea that there's a transcendent God. You think there's a man in the clouds and I don't because I listen to science. It's just like the most brain dead new atheist. I'm surprised this stuff still exists.
Bro, you told me that you kill a baby if God told you to.
Hey, Dean. Yes, 3 minutes interrupt, Dean. No more interruptions.
Yeah, silence while I attack your position. So here's the thing. Okay, the homosexuality thing, I mean, we could argue that the faculty of the reproductive organs is to have sex. The purpose of them is to have sex. We have sexual organs to have sex, and sex is for the purpose of insemination, procreation. It's what it is. It's not, we can't get too creative. It always ends the same way, and it's made for one purpose. We could argue that there is a prohibition of it in the Catholic Catechism and in the Bible, but I don't even think we need to go that far. It's really a question of whether we think people can do whatever they want. And this gets back to morality. If your conception of morality comes from, a vague idea of empathy or do no harm, against harm, then you would say there's nothing necessarily wrong with suicide, drug abuse, homosexuality, gluttony, laziness, all kinds of other behaviors, because people say we own our bodies, we can make decisions, we're empowered, and we can kind of do whatever we want as long as we don't interfere with other people, as long as there's not an imposition on other people. That's really the fundamental premise. I reject that premise. I think that because we're created beings, we're created with a sense of dignity. Our souls and our bodies are connected, and God wants us to be dignified. And I think we all recognize that there are things that are dignified and things that are undignified. It's undignified to be an addict. It's undignified to be lazy. It's undignified to undergo a transgender surgery. It's undignified to do plastic surgery. And yes, it is undignified to engage
1 minute,
in
Nick.
sodomy. What is it? 1 minute?
Yeah, 1 minute.
So, you know, sodomy is something that is violent, it's filthy, it's undignified, and I think it's a travesty. It's such an unfortunate thing. You know, people celebrate it to wave these flags, but they're waving a flag of really a filthy and violent and gross act that I think anybody has a natural sense of morality would reject it. So, I mean, I just think it's disgusting, and things that are disgusting are probably wrong.
Okay, your argument, it's disgusting, therefore it's wrong. Hey, Nick, got a question. Is shitting disgusting?
No. Shitting is wrong. Good point. That's a good point.
That's the argument you gave.
I never thought of it that way.
You said it's disgusting, therefore it's wrong. Yeah, shitting. That's pretty gross.
It's a pretty good heuristic. Yeah, it's a pretty good. Well, and look,
that's the account.
Well, if you want to, yeah, okay. If you want to talk about,
it's literally so fucking simple. Like, I mean, if your argument is, oh, this is aesthetically unpleasing, therefore I find it disgusting, therefore I'm going to describe it as being morally wrong.
This is just
first
like
of all,
so low IQ.
Do you mind if? No, it's not low IQ. You just
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Explain your syllogism.
Yeah, sure. So anyways, here's my perspective. You're just saying that you find it disgusting given your subjective mental states that lead you to the conclusion that it is something that's non-aesthetic. I think it's funny that you're giving me this argument when you've been chirping down my throat for the last 30 minutes that we need to rely on some objective standard to tell us what's right and wrong, even when we disagree. But now you're like, oh, my mental states are not conducive towards me finding this to be aesthetically pleasing, therefore it's morally wrong. It's just a little bit, out of reach for you. But overwhelmingly, I don't even know if I should give a dignified response to what you just told me. Nick just said, I don't like it, therefore it's wrong. You also referenced a couple other things there about just engaging in dignified actions. Once again, that's another, I don't like it, therefore it's wrong, right? I could say that being Nick Fuentes and talking about how 6 million people didn't die at the Holocaust is undignified, and all of a sudden, in my worldview, you're going to fucking jail, right? But I think that if you're going to make the argument that it's either wrong to be gay or it's wrong to engage in same-sex intercourse, you're going to have to give me a little bit more reason than the fact that it doesn't align with what's aesthetically pleasing to you.
Are you gay? Are you gay, just to establish for the debate?
No, I'm straight. Unlike you,
Okay.
I'm empathetic.
No, please, come on, don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm able.
I'm put it to auto. Nah, it has to be his stream, bro.
Straight men that want to talk about gay sex.
It's a debate about homosexuality.
Yeah, you're talking, but you're getting a little bit too personal, Nick. I have a girlfriend. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just asking. So
I
when
know.
I'm just asking.
One of the many.
So here's the thing. I didn't say if it's disgusting, it's wrong. What I mean is, it's a pretty good heuristic that something is disgusting. If something is found to be disgusting, it's probably wrong. And you brought up fecal matter. You said shit. I'll say fecal matter. I'll be polite. Fecal matter is offensive to us. It has offensive odor. It has an offensive look and so on. Why is that? Why do we find it disgusting? Why are we repelled by it? Because if we were to handle it and touch it, we would get sick and die. If we were to eat it, we would get sick and die. If we don't properly dispose of it, it would poison the community and we would die. So the act of excreting waste is not an evil act, but fecal matter in itself, it disgusts us on an instinctual basis for a very good reason, okay? And that's why it's a heuristic. And we find the same thing about surgery and blood, why? And about snakes and about spiders. There's a reason for that. And the same thing is true about homosexuality. Now, it's like, you look at the homosexual act, okay?
Do you mind if I respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Sure. Yeah, you're just further like, I look at it. It's
further
gross.
what? You're just not hearing me.
So I am. So the same
You're not
intuition,
empathizing.
the same intuition that you're describing to me, and like the other how many people are watching, I don't even know, is essentially that you have this innate driven psychological response that when you look at this, it's bad. You kind of related this to looking at shit, and because when you look at shit, it's bad. You know that's like driven via the fact that if you eat it, it could give you like bacteria, it can make you sick, whatever. Okay, but here's my point: the same innate like prejudice-driven response that you are holding towards gay people that leads you to the conclusion that it's thereby wrong is the same innate-driven prejudice response from white supremacists towards black people. So what would you say to a white supremacist giving you the same exact argument that you're giving me about gay people, but about black people? What if they made the argument that they just feel on some innate behavioral level that it is just wrong to be black? When I look at black people, I feel this way and that way, the same way that you're describing to me right now. And the reason that I think this point is so important to bring up here is, well, you're just describing your prejudice.
Okay, well, I would say, first of all, I don't have a prejudice against gay people. I really don't. I'm describing the act. I'm describing the act of what they're doing, which is filthy. If you look at a guy walking down the street, for the most part, like let's say it was a guy wearing like guy's clothes, but he was gay, you wouldn't know he was gay, and your disgust reflex wouldn't be triggered. But when you think about sodomy, which involves a whole host of gross stuff. I mean, they have to take drugs to loosen their buttholes. They have to flush out their buttholes of poo because the penis is going where poo is. This is disgusting stuff. And the idea of it's disgusting. And it's the act which is disgusting. So it's got nothing really to do with prejudice or anything like that. It's that the act itself, I think, hang on. And by the way, it's also universal. It's universal and it's instinctual. There was a study that was done, for example, that said that men who witnessed two gay men kissing had the same disgust reflex as seeing maggots. I'm sure you've heard of that.
Nick, and I'm just trying to get you to recognize that.
Can you not interrupt me? Why do you interrupt me every single time? I'm trying to make a point here.
A white business owner in the 1960s would have said the same thing that you're saying about gay people right now about black people going into their business.
No.
I asked you a question. The reason why I'm interrupting you here is because you're not giving me a response.
It's a false syllogism. You're bringing in white supremacy to homosexuality is a behavior.
Can I tell you particularly? No, homosexuality is not a behavior.
It is a behavior.
Okay, so what do you say that
what is
action?
Obviously homosexuality is a behavior. It means if a man is attracted to another man but never has sex, is he really homosexual?
Oh, wait, I have a question. Was Jesus straight?
I don't think he had a sexuality because he was God.
Okay, so it's perfect not to be attracted to women because Jesus was perfect and he wasn't attracted to women?
What are these false? It's always just like bullshit.
Oh,
so,
yeah, I have a question.
You don't like gay people. What about white people not liking black people? Was Jesus straight?
What'd you say here? You said if you never engage in gay sex, then you're not gay. So Nick,
I didn't say that. I said homosexuality is sex is an act. It's an act.
Oh, okay. So you said if you don't engage in gay sex, you're not homosexual because homosexual is predicated on the action.
I didn't say that. I said it's an action.
Yeah, so you're telling me if you don't engage in that action, then you're not that. Dude, how fucking do I need to write it on a piece of paper?
If you are a person that engages in that act, you are that person.
Right. So no, what I'm telling you is that sexual orientations are not defined upon the actions that you engage in.
What are they defined on?
On your attractions, right? And I'll give you a really good reason to believe this. Nick, at what age did you lose your virginity? Like 25?
I haven't. I'm Catholic.
Oh shit, Nick.
When you get married.
Nick, you're not straight by your definition because you've never engaged in the action of heterosexual intercourse.
True. I'm asexual. I'm an asexual.
You can't get out of this one. So you're going to make a joke because you know you can't get out of this.
It's not a joke.
Wait, so Nick, you're not straight?
Not yet. But I will be.
First here, folks, Nick Fuentes is not straight. Nick Fuentes is not straight, ladies and gentlemen. I want to make that one clear. I want to make that one very clear.
That's good.
That is hilarious.
That was good. So do you now see why we should predicate
my sexuality is incel. It's involuntarily celibate.
So do you now see why we should predicate the definition of like straight and gay based upon
No, I think homosexuality is an act.
Oh, okay. So if you think being straight's an act too. All right, so Nick Fuentes not okay. That's the absurdity that I'll reach. If you want to say that like being straight is predicated based upon the action, then go for it. It just means that Nick Fuentes isn't straight. Okay, and then also I'm going to talk about that action. So
you're
if,
empathizing with gay people. If you're envisioning yourself being gay,
Oh my God,
you're not straight
bro.
either, buddy. If you're empathizing, if you're getting in their head, getting in their shoes, getting in their wherever.
Okay.
Then
that's a
I don't
bad
know. I
thing
think it
according to
seems
you.
like you're kind of all the
And Nick,
above. But
and Nick, that's
I mean,
a
look,
bad
but
thing
this is
according
really
to you.
childish.
No, I want to respond
The
to that.
question is
That's
whether
what I'm
it's
doing.
moral.
Let me respond to that.
Please
tell me,
tell me
respond to
about
that.
your empathy. I want to hear about
Please,
it.
yeah, sure. So that's
Which
like a bad
partner
thing.
do you empathize more with? The one that's on top or the one that's on bottom? I'm curious.
Right.
Where's the empathy directed?
Right. I got a question. God's all knowing, right?
Here we go. Yes.
So God knows what it's like to get fucked in the ass by two dudes. So God empathizes
great.
with it. Why can't
That's
I?
great. Very good.
Oh, wait.
Very good. No, God doesn't empathize with those people. God casts those people off.
Terrible. Oh, that's so bad.
That's great. It's very low IQ humor.
It's very low IQ humor. No, you're getting fucking dunked on repeatedly. I thought you'd be a better debater.
You're the guy that said you're empathizing with gay people, and you're saying that poo isn't filthy or something?
Oh no, so once again, my argument is that you have absolutely no reason to believe that being gay is wrong, and the existence of yourself alongside others just like you that hold this baseless, trivial prejudice has led to generations of members of the LGBT. One moment, let me cook. That led to generations of members
of the LGBT community.
Let me cook. You're
Finish
getting a
the
little bit
acronym.
frustrated. Sir, do I need to put the polka dots?
No. Give us the whole acronym.
Yeah, so generations of the LGBTQ plus community, right, have lived under an oppressive system because people like you like to open up the front door of their house and then scream and shout how wrong it is to love another person in a consentful adult and non-incestuous relationship. It is absolutely fucking insane to me. And here you're gonna say, "Oh, Dean, you're boring me because I'm able to empathize with other humans." Is that like a new concept?
Yeah,
to
no,
you?
because you're a really good person. Being in favor of gay sex means you're a really good person and you empathize with people and care. It has nothing to do with whether you believe there's a natural law or anything and things we ought to do or not do with our bodies. It's because you're a really fucking wholesome, good person.
Wait, what
You're a
reason do you have
wholesome
to?
chungus.
What reason do you have to believe, right, that we ought not?
It's
engage
bad.
in gay
Look,
sex?
homosexuality is bad for people. I mean, it's an unnatural act because it's incompatible.
Wait, can you
it's
define
unnatural,
Every
it's
argument
filthy,
he
it's
makes
violent.
is fucking
It
terrible.
doesn't work. I mean, what
I
is a
would
sexual
argue
act?
his side way
What
better
is a
than him.
sexual act?
He just doesn't know what
10
the
minutes,
fuck to
guys.
say.
10 minutes on this topic.
Yeah, like the sexual act. I mean,
That's
this is very,
contrary to its purpose, contrary to its nature.
Okay, so you're saying it's contrary to its nature. So you're saying
Yes.
that like every part of your body has a nature. The nature of the penis isn't to enter into an asshole.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, what's the nature of your lips?
To do everything that a lip does.
Like eat food, talk, speak. That.
Sure. Yeah.
So it's wrong to kiss your girlfriend because that's going against.
No,
the
they're
nature
made
of
for
your
that
lips?
too. They're made for that. That has a purpose in sexuality as well.
If you could say that your lips are made for kissing your girlfriend, why can't I say that the pee-pee's made for being inserted into the asshole?
Because the asshole isn't meant to be penetrated. Because when that happens, it has long-term health effects. You could look, there are a lot of like ex-homosexuals that talk about how they have long-term, I mean, I don't want to get graphic, but they have to wear
Long-term health
diapers.
effects
They have to
equal-
wear
so-
diapers
So
because it's not
long-term health
natural.
effects equal unnatural.
Yeah, if you're persistently doing something that leads to long-term chronic problems like that, yeah.
Okay, wait. I think that this is
Also,
another.
it's dirty,
Scribe, I think
and
that
that's
this
why
is
there's
another-
disease that
I
results
think
from
that
that
this
as
is
well.
another. I think that this is another trivial argument. Would you say that it's wrong to play the piano because you're unnaturally using your fingers to hit the keys that could lead to long-term health effects, such as
No,
like,
because it's not contrary to its nature.
Oh wait, but it leads to long-term negative health effects. And some people, it could lead to like their hands seizing up, or I forget the particular word, but it essentially leads to very like bad long-term health effects like within the hands. So like given your logic,
right
why
about
wouldn't
that.
you say that it's wrong to play the piano? Granted, right, that it's not in the nature, right? That
He
was a
brings
trivial
up
assumption, and it leads
such
to
good
negative long-term health effects.
Well, it's
counterpoint
obvious
to
because I mean, what do we call the penis? It's a sexual organ. It's for the purpose of sex. Fingers are a little bit different. Lips are a little bit different. They have all kinds of different potential utilities and things like that. But the sexual organ is directed towards the sexual function. I mean, why do we? The reason the penis is shaped like it is. The reason. Okay, now you're gonna interrupt me. The reason that it's shaped like it is and positioned where it is and all those things, it's for one purpose. The reason that it, I mean, not to get graphic, but the reason it does all the things it does is for the purpose of insemination. It's not for the purpose of inseminating a person's colon or rectum. And by the way, a butthole has literally one purpose. Okay, a butthole has one purpose, which is to excrete waste, not for
So do you mind
other
if I
things
give you
like
my
that.
stance on this? I want to give you.
Yeah, let's hear. Well, it is a debate, so I wouldn't mind that at all, actually.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't think that we could prescriptively define the function of like any part of our body or really like anything for that matter. We could only
Okay.
descriptively define them. Like I could give you a good analogy here. Like if you went to like a hardware store like Lowe's or Home Depot, right, and you went to buy a hammer, and the instruction manual on this hammer tells you that it's supposed to put nails into wood. Well, I mean, all of a sudden you are misusing the hammer if you're not putting nails in the wood. But if you go into the middle of the forest and you find a rock in the shape of a hammer, identical to the one in Lowe's, you're not doing anything wrong regardless of how you use it because there wasn't any intention behind its design. And that's exactly what I would say about the human anatomy, right? There was no conscious intention behind the design of the human anatomy. I think that we could descriptively define how we use parts of our body, and I think you kind of implicitly conceded to this earlier when you told me that it's in my nature to use my hands to play the piano or to use my mouth to kiss my girlfriend. Those are not intentful, prescriptive claims that you're making about the function or use of my hands. These are going to be descriptions about how we can use my hands, about how we can use my lips, and that's exactly how I'd reference, right, these sexual organs, okay? And the only way for you to justify your claim that there is intention behind the design of the human anatomy, to justify that there's incorrect uses of it, would be God. And of course, I dispute the existence of God. You couldn't prove that God exists. If we had 30 minutes, I could be able to give you an argument to show that it's logically impossible for the Christian God to exist. So I think what it's best for you to do right now is to either concede your position or just say it outright. You think being gay is wrong because God said so. You think being gay is wrong because you truly believe that God built our bodies to function in a particular manner that is adjacent to the use that you like to describe to our fingers or to our mouths. Say it out loud.
Well, like I said, if you were listening at the very beginning of my opening statement, I said we are created and we are ensouled, and our souls and our bodies have to be treated with dignity. And yes, you're 100% right. I mean, if you believe that, if you're a nihilist or a materialist and you believe there's only matter and everything is subjective, then yeah, like there's no problem with putting this in there and that over there. But if you think that we are created, and if you think there is such a thing as a natural law and a moral law, then we would have to abide by what we can assume are these functions, or what we are told are the functions by revelation. If you believe in a religion with revelation, then it's revealed. If you believe in a religion which is philosophical, then you have to deduce it rationally. But when you look at something like the anus, you know, E. Michael Jones has a famous quote about this: the anus is not a sex organ. It's obviously not. It's there for one purpose. And I think, you know, we all sort of know, like, yeah, of course you can do these things. No one's arguing that you can't. Of course you can. It can be done. You're capable of doing it. The question is, should we do these things? You know, and if these things are contrary to their nature, and there's evidence that this is the case because they result in problems, then we probably shouldn't. And you don't even necessarily need to believe in God to understand that. I think that, hang on, I'm not totally finished. I think that even if you don't believe in God, I think there are a lot of people that actually don't believe in God that still find it to be a kind of degenerative, indulgent, undignified practice. I'm not finished yet. You're very disrespectful in that way. I'm so respectful, and you're being very rude the way you're chirping with these little interruptions. And the thing is, I mean, let's imagine what it is. When they're walking down the street waving that flag, it represents a filthy, violent act where you're evacuating fecal matter out of your bowels to make room for sex, and it's never fully gone. And this is why they get AIDS, because you're putting a sexual organ where the shit is. And that's just something that, like, is objectively gross, I think, for very good reasons, which is a pretty good heuristic, that it's also immoral. And so, people that are same-sex attracted, people that are tolerant of same-sex attracted persons, and people that are not, I think should all be able to recognize that sodomy is something that there's something deeply wrong with it, and it should be avoided, even if you're not religious.
Let's do closing statements, 1 minute each. I'll give 1 minute to Dean and then 1 minute to Nick. We'll go on to the next topic.
Great, thank you so much. So Nick Fuentes made two arguments. The first argument that Nick Fuentes made was that I think it's gross, therefore it's wrong. In Nick's closing statement, what he will not do is give me the logical distinction with him saying gay gross, therefore wrong, and a white supremacist saying being black gross, therefore wrong. there's no logical distinction between the way in which those two beliefs were formed, and he won't be able to give it to me. The second argument that Nick made here was that we can deduce that it's not within the teleological, the teleological use of these sex organs to use them in such a manner where the penis is inserted into the anus, because doing so can reap long-term negative outcomes. Okay, right? He will not be able to give me the difference between saying this is why gay sex is wrong and me saying, well, it's wrong to play the piano because when you use your hands to do so, this could reap negative long-term outcomes such as arthritis. So those two arguments alone show us all that Nick's logic here is unreliable because of the absurdities in which they yield. Right? If the same logic that you're using to justify that being gay is wrong could lead a white supremacist to the conclusion that being black is wrong and lead a dumbass to the conclusion that playing the piano is wrong, maybe your logic isn't that sound. And I think that's going to be my closing statement. If Nick Fuentes was honest with us here, folks, he would tell us that being gay is wrong because he's just a little bit prejudiced, don't you think?
Okay, that was a bit over. Nick, I'll give you 90 seconds to close here.
All right, yeah. I don't know why we got to do the debate club stuff. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, what Nick Fuentes is going to try and... it's like, this is a very... we're on Aiden Ross, okay, bitch? This is Aiden Ross live. There's no rules here, okay, other than the time limit. My closing statement is very simple. It's just like how I started. If you believe, and I tend to think that every decent person does, even if you're not Christian or necessarily religious, if you believe that we are more than just matter, meaning that we have souls, meaning that there is something deeper, there's a ghost in the machine that is a true source of identity. If you believe that the universe is created and we're created, then you believe that moral conduct is not just about avoiding harm or hurting people. There's also a way to conduct your moral life independently. And it's how you treat yourself, it's your actions. We all understand there's an idea of discipline, cleanliness, all those kinds of things. And the idea of sodomy, which people should think of when they think of homosexuality, I think according to any decent person in any culture, is something that is violent, filthy, and those things tend to be wrong. It's contrary to the nature of sex, what we know the anus and the penis to be for, or for lesbians for that matter, it's contrary to the purpose of those things. And I would say that on top of all that, you have evidence that this is the case because there's such a low incidence of it. It's a very small percentage of the population, has a very high coincidence with mental illness, and there's a very common family pattern that produces that behavior, that disposition.
Hey,
and
you got about 10 seconds, Nick. 10 seconds.
Okay. It's a very particular kind of behavior that's a response to things. It should be avoided. I think any decent person realizes that.
Hey, Aiden.
Yes.
No, there's no more on this subject, Dean.
Hold on. What does Dean want to... Yes, Dean.
Well, I mean, I would like to propose giving Nick another 60 seconds to respond to my closing statement. As I pointed out in my closing statement, he wouldn't respond to the arguments I gave, and he still didn't. So I just wanted to see if Nick wanted more time to do that. If not, we can move on, but he probably won't.
Can we give him 60 more seconds to actually respond? Okay, can we do the next topic now?
We're going to move on.
I didn't respond to your stupid syllogism about white supremacy and the Holocaust and January 6th or whatever.
That's a damning non-answer. Let's go to the next topic.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to the next one, and then Dean, you agreed to do immigration. We'll circle back to Kamala Trump after the last agreed upon subject. Is that cool?
Yeah, depending on what time it is after we get there 4 hours away, I kind of carved out like an hour and a half. But if we want to go into immigration, I might have some time. I just have to see what's going on.
The reasoning why we might have to do a fifth topic that we both agree on, guys, is because a lot of the audience, is enjoying this and they're deep in on this, and I think it's almost, you guys are almost kind of tied right now. There, a lot of them are agreeing about a tie. So maybe a fifth. We'll see. Let's get to the fourth topic, though.
Well, how about this? Because we've been going about 30 minutes each subject, so for brevity's sake, why don't we do 20 minutes on the last subject and 20 minutes on immigration to keep it?
What's the last subject?
Are men superior to women?
Can we give that 1:30?
Okay, but if you agree to do immigration.
If I agree to do immigration, give that 30. I feel like there's people out there that can represent immigration better than I can.
Because you're going to lose on that one.
I don't know what your expertise.
Okay, Nick, is that fine with you? If he doesn't want to do immigration, you want to?
I don't like.
Let's just hold on a second, Dean. Dean, do you have a topic a fifth topic that you might want to cover, touch base on, just something for the end? It doesn't have to be that long either, like maybe 15 minutes.
Yeah, why don't, no, we could debate immigration. Let's do that.
All right. Okay. All right. So the next topic is
Are men superior to women? Yeah, we'll start with our men
Debate
superior.
partner. You're good. It's not personal, so I just want you to know.
Are men more superior?
No, just superior. Are men superior to women? We'll start with Nick. I'll give you 3 minutes and then 3 minutes to Dean.
Yeah, men are awesome. Women suck and they're dumb. And no, I'm kidding. Yeah, the thing is, though, men obviously were made to lead, and I do think that women should have a secondary role in society. I think that's absolutely true. I do believe in a fundamental equality between man and woman. You know, the Bible says that God created them man and woman, so we're both created with dignity and should be respected, and there's an equality before God that we both have. But we were created with two distinct and different natures. You know, they are two essential. Maleness and femaleness are essential about a person. They're essential to the soul. They're essential to the body. They come with a function. They come with a particular anatomy. They come with a brain chemistry. And as such, those things have social roles. The idea that, you know, these clearly two distinct categories, two essential types of people would be treated precisely the same or exactly the same in society, it belies the fact that they have two different natures. And I think it's obvious that men are celestial, they're individualists, they're rationalists, they're leaders, they're risk takers. They should be working, fighting, running society. Women are terrestrial, they're nurturers, they're caregivers. They should be the mothers. I don't think that they should be necessarily precluded from working. But I think that they should be encouraged first and foremost to be mothers for their benefit and for the benefit of society as a whole. And that's kind of the gist of my position.
Okay, so I have an opening statement. I guess I'll use it up. My position's pretty clear. No, one human being does not have more intrinsic moral value than another human being. I don't think that we could take this qualification of your gender identity or what's in between your legs and abstract that out to this norm of who's going to be better at leading. I'd say the qualifications of determining who's better at leading, the qualifications of determining, you know, half the shit that he named off over here is not going to be, right, what's in between your legs or your gender identity, but rather other various traits. But I guess just to make this quick, we could kind of cut to the chase here. Why do you think men are better at leading than women? I would appreciate specifics. You kind of pointed out like different natures, different biological differences, neuroanatomy, etc. I want you to name the specifics. Maybe I could ask you a question here. What are the specific biological differences between men and women that make men better at leading than women?
Smarter, stronger, all of the above. No, I mean, in actuality,
Be specific.
in
Are those your
actuality,
two?
what?
Are those your two qualifiers?
No, I'm being a little bit funny.
Well, be honest with me here.
The reason why they're better leaders, well, one, I think they're really only qualified to be leaders because they are physically stronger. And, you know, this is one of the reasons why we have a feminist society. It's because we live in a world where we have technology. In the old days, when there was fighting, it was very physical and it was very direct. It was hand-to-hand combat, and the only people that could do it were men. As such, the militaries that were raised up were comprised of men. The people that fought and enforced sovereignty, law, borders, all those things were men. Necessarily, then, they're the decision makers. And so, you know, the idea that it has something to do with what's between your legs, well, it has to do with what's between your legs and the fact that you have testosterone. You're physically stronger. And by the way, because you have testosterone, it means you're more aggressive. It means you're a bigger risk taker. Those are two things that are important. For a person to be a leader, they need to be able to stand against the crowd. And that means a risk taker. It means you need to be disagreeable. It involves a certain amount of aggression and a competitiveness that women simply lack. We all know that women are very agreeable, passive. Not all of them, but generally speaking, they are. They're peacemakers. They're more introspective. They're more emotional, less decisive. And all of that makes them worse as leaders. Now, there can be women that are good in particular leadership roles in certain circumstances, and individual women might. But as a general rule, because of their nature, they don't make good leaders.
Okay, thank you so much for your response there. Let's talk about it all. One of the reasons that you gave me that men are better at leading than women is physical strength. That is a totally and completely mute point. You would not be able to name me one social category in the world today where leadership is determined on purely physical strength. I also bet that you would not be willing to vote for a 15-year-old on steroids that can bench press 600 pounds over Donald Trump just because he's physically stronger. Another point that you brought up is that women are more emotional than men. I'd actually say that's false. 72% of people who commit suicide are men. 85% of people that abuse hard drugs as an emotional reaction to like particular external stimuli are men. We see that 95% of violent crimes are committed by men. We see that men are much more likely to start wars, to start genocides. We see that men are much more likely to engage in irrational risk-adverse activities such as drunk driving, reckless driving, or gambling. Meanwhile, we see women have a higher IQ and EQ on average. Women outperform men in the context of school, going to it more, getting better grades and better degrees. And we see that women could actually deal with stress better than men. And that's one of those biological predispositions that you were talking about. Women have thicker dendrites in their neuroanatomy compared to men, for the reason being that evolution has designed women to deal with childbirth, okay? Right? And that made them deal with stress better as well. That's why we see that female surgeons outcompete male surgeons. The JMA and the AMA did a massive study on 1.7 million patients on 6 continents and evaluated that if you're operated on by a male compared to a female, that you're more likely to die as a result of your surgery and you're more likely to experience postoperative outcomes. So, just a quick recap. Physical strength doesn't mean shit. I have bigger biceps than you. I bet you think you're a better leader. Emotional maturity. Women are more emotionally mature than men. Then about intelligence and all the other shit you brought up. We could get into that, but I'll let you respond to the points that I brought up so far.
Yeah, so you said it was risk averse to gamble and drunk drive. It's the opposite. You said men are more willing to drunk drive and gamble. Those are risk-taking activities, and risk-taking is fundamental in leadership.
Yeah,
that's why, yeah, well, fair enough. And that's why, you know, the richest people in the world are all men, because the entrepreneurs are men, because an entrepreneur is a risk taker. And, you know, one man's gambling is another man's entrepreneurship. One man's drunk driving is another man's self-destructive, obsessive, maniacal quest for, you know, building the best company or being the president or anything like that. It's absolutely essential. With regard to higher IQ and EQ, it is true that on average women have a higher IQ, but it's also true that the distribution is different. There's more geniuses among men. I mean, the curve, if you will, is flatter. So there's more men that are on the left side of the curve. There's more men on the right side of the curve. Although the average for women is higher, they don't have those outliers and those extremes. That's why you don't see a lot of female geniuses, and that's just true. I mean, earlier today in preparation for the debate, I asked ChatGPT, I said, name some female geniuses. They got to like 3 before they had to name a feminist. They did like Marie Curie, some ancient Neoplatonist no one ever heard of, and then it was like all the like first and second wave feminists. There's no female geniuses. There's very few female billionaires that didn't get their wealth outside of divorce. There's very few female heads of state. People say that's oppression, it's misogyny, and we all know it's because they're not risk takers, they're not tough. With regard to they handle stress better, yeah, maybe certain kinds of stress, but I think we all know women, and I think we all know that when women are put in stressful situations, they crumble.
God.
They
So
cry, they get upset, they freak out, they call their boyfriend, they call their father. Hang on. I'll let you go on. And you said that ridiculous stuff. Hang on, let me finish. I'll wrap up, but I let you finish, and I let you say that women handle stress better. That's insane. Okay. And with regard to physical strength, you know, look, I said today, physical strength is not a qualifier because of techniques, because we have missiles, we have tanks and things like that. But the point is, it used to be the case that what qualified you to lead is that you would go out there and be doing the fighting and all of that. And that is still true. It's not necessarily true in the United States, but it is still true in other countries. And countries like Israel, for example, or Iran, their presidents and their ministers are frequently military leaders that are actually having to be in the tanks and in the battlefield. And, you know, it's hard to be in the battlefield when you get your period. It's hard to be in the battlefield if you're pregnant or something like that. Men don't get pregnant. Men don't get their period. Men are physically stronger. Men have more endurance. That's why, by the way, It's not just that they're stronger, they're
can't you
faster,
get
they're
responded
all
to
the
that point?
above. That's why women don't compete with men in sports. That's why men make better soldiers. And so, you know, yeah, it kind of does matter that if there's a war, men are going to be the ones fighting and dying it, and that's why they're leading. And
Can we do
there's something
something?
deeply related to their biology there as well. But go
Can we
ahead,
just-
since you want to interrupt me already.
Yeah, let's do something here. I've kind of like felt this way like the entire time that we've been having the discussion. I feel like we both like to talk a lot. I think that that's been evidently clear. We just kind of go at each other with like these 2 to 3 minute responses. Can I ask something from you?
What is it? Depends on what it is.
I kind of want to break down each point you've brought up and demonstrate to you why it's flawed instead of just giving these long-winded responses.
You want to do a fact check?
5 minutes,
And
guys.
I want to do that point by point with our last 5 minutes. The first point about physical strength. Who would you rather vote for? A 15-year-old that can bench press 1,000 pounds or Donald Trump?
But that's not what I'm not saying that the most physically strong person should be the king. I'm saying that
what are you saying?
as a category, women are not soldiers. They're not tasked with defending the country, and that is effectively what the king or the president is supposed to do, is defend the realm.
Didn't
so
Trump
it's
dodge
categories.
the draft 5 times?
Oh my. Okay, so are we just going to do the resistance liberal thing now? I said
No,
the
it's
United
just
States,
crazy.
techniques
Castro defending the
notwithstanding. Are you capable
Yeah,
of understanding like a concept?
Can non-soldiers defend the country?
President Bone Spurs. We're talking about whether women should be leaders if they
I
can't
know, and you're-
physically
and you're
defend the
giving-
borders.
Okay, so you'd say the weaker you are, physically speaking, the worse you are at leading.
No.
So then
I
what the fuck
just
is
said-
your argument?
Yeah, it's like you're not even listening. I said as a category, because sex is
A
essential.
category that's not going to be indicative of leadership ability when the question is, why are men
Okay.
better at leading than women? Why do you
Right.
name a category where we see these general biological distinctions between men and women if it's not indicative of men being better at leading than women? I asked
Because-
you to name the specific biological differences between men and women that make
Which I
men
did.
better at leading than women. You said
Which I did.
strength was one of them, and now you're saying it's not. You're saying that emotional intelligence was
Okay.
one of them, then you conceded that women are more emotionally intelligent than men. Another
Didn't hear
point that
the
you,
other part.
Another point that you brought up was intelligence, specifically IQ, with like the highest geniuses of the men being smarter than that of the women. I'd say there's going to be some social, like some social aspects thrown in there. I mean, if you look at like the average IQ of an Arab individual compared to a white individual at home here in the U.S., the white individual has a higher IQ. But then if you go to an Arab-dominated country in the Middle East, you'll see that the Arab individual has a higher IQ. What this means is that socialization, access to opportunity, and resources can play in, right, to like your deviated IQ. So of course we'd see more men having higher IQs at the end of the spectrum compared to women, just because they have more opportunity, resources, and access to education.
Oh, it's because
in
of
general.
misogyny. It's misogyny, right? Women are dumb because of misogyny.
Well,
They
actually,
don't
I'd
have
say
access
that
to
not being in the
resources.
top 10%
Let me
of
ask
IQs
you. Let me
doesn't
ask
make
you a
you
question.
fucking dumb.
You asked me
And then
questions. Let me
secondly, I
ask you a
give you reason to
question.
believe that
I
that's
want to ask
true.
you a question about leadership. What do you think are good leadership traits? Can you give me some examples of what like good leadership traits are?
That's a great question, and I think I'll give you a great answer. We could talk about a good, morally virtuous character. We could talk about ability to get along with other people, bring people together, and get them to follow you. Another thing that I'd say, a good leader isn't just someone who could bring people together, but a good leader is also someone that can lead those people into a positive direction. The reason that leadership exists in the first place is because when you take a large group of people and you set them on their own paths, they're not going to get shit done. Thereby, you choose one of that large group of people to lead them all in what? A positive direction. So you're looking for someone with a good character, you're looking for someone that could bring people together, you're probably going to be looking for someone that's pretty damn competent as well, and someone that could like achieve like the highest level of eudaimonia for the group of people that they're leading. I'm sure there's other attributes that we could assign to leadership here, but there's going to be a general sense.
Bro pulled out eudaimonia. Look, see,
Wait,
this
Nick,
is where you're wrong.
Nick, let's do you need to respond, or let's do a 1 minute closing statement here?
Can I just respond and then we can do
Sure.
closing
Yeah,
statements?
go ahead.
Okay. So just to respond to that, I mean, and this is kind of the whole essence of the debate.
Didn't
Is you
Flamingo cut me off last time? Funny. Go ahead.
you fundamentally misunderstand human nature and you know nothing about leadership. You say it's about bringing everyone together to move in a positive direction. It's like this is a problem with Gen Z. It's like this kind of
You fucking
kindergartner.
nihilist.
Hang on, can I finish, please? I didn't interrupt all that nonsense. It's just sort of like, hey, everybody, let's all hold hands and let's just create, you know, like everyone's being nice to each other. The world is a mess, okay? The world is a knife fight. On the global scale, when you're talking about leaders and armies, it's a knife fight for existence. When you're talking about companies, it's a knife fight for existence. We're talking about anything. human competition, it's practically homicidal between people. And anyone that's serious about anything will tell you that. Anyone that's obsessed, anyone that's ambitious, anyone who is ruling, who is actually the leaders in society, who earn their role there, they'll tell you the same thing. It's cutthroat. And yeah, like there are some abilities, like you said, like, yeah, you need to inspire people, things like that. But more than that, you need a willingness to do what it takes. You need an ambition. You need to take risks. You need to be willing to make decisions and stand by them. These are all qualities that purely because of gender and hormones, because of their biological role, women don't have those things. Because women have to have a baby grow inside of them for 9 months and then hear it scream and cry and take care of it and feed them from their breast and have like basically a dependent. They're just not made for that kind of competition. They have a completely care-based ethics. They're totally dependent. Men who are individuals, risk takers, aggressive, men who can exist independently of women when it's really not so the other way around. They alone have the ability to do what it takes to lead. And that's why, even with all the DEI in the world, you're still going to have men running everything. The private sector, the public sector, the military, because men are the ones that can lead. And thus, they do. It's only through ideologically motivated policies from human resources departments that you get women doing fucking anything other than like creating schedules and being nurses and being fucking teachers and stuff like that. That's just reality. Everyone knows it. And you could give me 100 studies. That's human nature.
Dean, respond, and then we'll go to closing statements.
Yeah, it's funny how you're saying that you can't get women to do anything. If a woman didn't do something, you wouldn't be sitting here having this debate with me right now. But I would just wanted to respond to that. You're saying men are so much better at leading than women, and I hate women because I haven't touched one since conception. Sorry, that's not what you said. You actually said, because they're not aggressive.
I touch them. I just
I
don't have sex with them. They're not my wife.
I don't know about that. Anyways, so
you're
the
a
question,
rapist.
I'm not gonna call
Orange
you
man
a rapist
bad
without evidence.
Orange
anyways,
glad.
So anyway,
ahead,
no, you're good, man. What I was gonna ask, well, if like ambition, risk taking, and aggressiveness is what makes you a good leader, Hitler was an incredibly ambitious, aggressive risk taker. Given your qualifications, would you thereby say that Hitler is a good leader?
It's indisputable he is. Indisputably. You could even say he's evil. He made Germany great again. Even if you believe he's evil.
Who would you rather have run our country right now? Your wife or Hitler?
Hitler! Of course. Of course. I don't have a wife. Wife.
1 minute Nick, and then 1 minute Dean. Nick, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so my closing statement is that, look, it's human nature. I am not an empiricist. I don't think we need to consult the studies. I think we know our nature. I think God created a man and a woman. We're created with 2 different reproductive faculties. We're created with, as a result, different anatomies, different natures, different dispositions. We're made with complementarity. Men and women are not only made differently, they're made to complement each other, which doesn't mean that they're necessarily opposites, but it does mean that there's like reciprocal differences. As a result of these essential immutable differences, we should treat men and women differently, and we do. That's why we have things like chivalry. That's why men don't hit women. That's why men and women don't compete in the same sports. And, a lot of people understand that, but then they don't understand why we would say we don't want a woman president, or why we wouldn't want to send women into combat, or why we think that men aren't badass bikers and whatever in the same way that men are. But it all proceeds from the same essential complementary natures that the 2 sexes were given by God.
That's
to pretend otherwise is to ignore our eyes and our experience and what we know about ourselves and the people in our lives.
Dean, 1 minute.
Yeah, first of all, you said that's why men don't hit women. Men do hit women. It sucks. Second of all, let's talk about why men are not better at leading than women. Every single point that Nick Fuentes has been reduced to him telling us all that Hitler is a better candidate for America's president today compared to Kamala Harris or his very own wife. I don't give a shit about the 12 or 13-year-old little boys spamming 1 in Aiden's chat. Anyone with half of a fucking brain cell can tell that this logic is not immutable, and it leads you to being a fucking incel RNC droid repeating the same alternative media talking points that you got from Andrew fucking Tate. Okay, right? The facts of the matter are, this guy said men are better at leading than women because they're physically stronger. Physical strength is not indicative of being better at leading. Go talk to the biggest guy in your gym and see who would be better at leading. This guy also brought up levels of emotion.
How
Men
the
are more
Al-Jab-
emotional than women. We all know this. That's why they commit vast majority of violent crimes. That's why they commit vast majority of suicides. That's why they abuse hard drugs more. Right?
It's
That's
about
why
time,
they
Dean.
commit DV, kidnapping, etc. more. Another point that he brought up was intelligence. Women have a higher IQ on average. Let's face the facts, folks. There's no evidence to believe that men are better at leading than women, and I suggest you treat the women in your life damn well and don't tell them to stay in the kitchen or you're not gonna get a wife.
That's
Just
time,
like
Dean.
28-year-old Nick Fuentes over here hasn't been able to get a girlfriend since he was born. That's why, folks. That's why you're an incel. But we're gonna go ahead and move on now.
Okay, let's go back to Trump Kamala in the beginning. We'll say who's stronger on immigration, Trump or Kamala?
This one's so incredible.
And we'll start with Dean. We'll give you let's do 2 minutes. We'll keep this one a little short, a 2-minute intro.
Yeah, sure. Kamala Harris is stronger on immigration. Well, this one's just evidently clear. Donald Trump is pro-open borders. Huh. Why is Donald Trump pro-open borders? Because he torpedoed a bipartisan border bill in the House and the Senate 2 years ago, drafted by a Trump-endorsed Republican by the name of Langford. Okay? Trump is pro-open borders right now because he knows it's going to increase his chance of winning re-election. Another thought here, if I was a conservative and I cared about immigration, Donald Trump wouldn't be my guy. He essentially passed no policy that effectively mitigated increasing numbers of border crossings and entries into our country under his term. The wall didn't do shit. The Remain in Mexico policy didn't do shit. If you look at the graph behind Donald Trump at the rally that he got shot at, he claimed that his clampdown on the southern border started with Title 42 and COVID. The big public health emergency that Nick Fuentes over here probably thinks was a common cold is the only reason that we had as low of border entries under Trump's administration as we did. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, right, she wants to send more funding to the courts on the borders to expedite the asylum-seeking processes to reduce undocumented migration in our country. She's the only candidate in the race to prosecute transatlantic gangs. But the moral of the story, the one point that I want to stick for Nick Fuentes over here to respond to, is that Donald Trump is pro-open border because he torpedoed good border policy in the House and the Senate 2 years ago because he wanted the crisis to continue and make the Democrats look bad.
Nick, you got 2 minutes.
All right. Yeah, that's just like obviously out of touch with reality. I knew he would go there, and that's why I want to talk about immigration. I mean, you could make that case if history started in the year 2024, that Trump torpedoed the border bill and that's why the border is bad. But of course, time didn't start in 2024. It started with immigration a long time ago. Trump had a number of executive orders that curbed illegal border crossings. It wasn't just the migrant protection protocols. It was a number of others meant to close loopholes with catch and release. And so they could return immigrants to third-party countries. It wasn't just Title 42. And the Biden administration undid all of them, literally on the first day. Trump built a border wall. You say it did nothing. Department of Homeland Security says actually it reduced crossings, reduced drug trafficking over the border, reduced human smuggling over the border. That's all true. He built 386 miles of physical infrastructure, and he did it, by the way, after Congress refused to give him the money, after the Supreme Court, or rather a federal judge, tried to hold it up in the court system. Finally, by the end of his term, he was able to get the money from the DOD to build a border wall. Biden stopped building it on day one. Biden also effectively ended deportations. There was a policy under Obama where they said they weren't going to prioritize most illegal immigration for deportations. Under Trump, they put an executive order that said we're going to prioritize all illegal immigrants for deportation. Biden rescinded that executive order. Trump had an executive order that said while you're waiting for your asylum claim to be adjudicated, you wait in Mexico, not in the interior of the United States. Biden rescinded that executive order. Trump said, we will return you to one of the Northern Triangle countries, a third-party country. Biden rescinded that executive order. As a result, illegal immigration under Biden is higher than at any point in history by far. In the 10 years between 2010 and 2020, illegal border crossings, only 1 year on average, on a day-to-day basis, were over 3,000 per day.
10
Under the
seconds,
Biden
Nick.
administration, it was 4,000, 6,000, and now it's over 7,000 border crossings. So it's almost 3 times the 10-year average, and that's because they removed the Trump-era policies. Now they want to blame it on a Senate bill this year? I don't think so.
Thank you for all the information, Nick. I'm going to have fun with this. First of all, it's funny that you think you're so educated about the border, and then you say that Lankford's bill was in the Senate in 2024. No, that was 2023. It started drafting in late 2021. Secondly, you mentioned all the policies that Trump enacted that Biden repealed. First of all, if you look at the border crossings under Donald Trump's presidency, they went up year by year by year until Title 42 is implemented. What does that tell us? Immigration after these great policies didn't go down. What else do we know is that these policies weren't in place under Obama's administration. Did we have a border crisis to the same degree that we have now under Obama's administration? No, at points we had lower crossings than we had under Trump. Phenomenal. What does this tell us? Is that Biden repealing those policies didn't cause the crisis to start. So what did? That's a great question. Well, let's treat Title 42, the total and complete shutdown caused by or implemented because of the public health emergency, like a dam on a river. Okay, and that dam sat on the river for 1.5 years, 2 years, however long it was. When you remove the dam from the river, what happens? Water gushes through. When Title 42 expired, guess what? All of those migrants that had been backlogged gushed through. This was natural, normal, and expected. We should evaluate the responsibility and the efficacy of our current administration based upon their response to this crisis being caused by the revocal of Title 42. And what was their response? To implement bipartisan border legislation, and the first step they took was to influence exactly that through the House and the Senate. That was Lankford's bill. What happened next? Trump calls the Republicans in the House and the Senate, tells them to vote against it, torpedoes the bill. Nick over here knows the story. But I would like to ask you a very crystal clear question, Nick, and it is in the sense of a hypothetical. If your house is burning down and the fire truck shows up to put out the fire, and you tell the fire truck to turn around because you want the house to burn so you can claim the insurance money, Nick Fuentes, did you care about the house?
Well, it's an incorrect hypothetical because the bill would actually concretize the Biden-era policies. The bill does not secure the border, so the premise fails on that alone.
And the way that I'd respond to that...
Do you know, wait, let me ask you, do you know the details of the bill? Can you tell me the provisions that are in the bill, please?
I could tell you a handful. Like, what was it? Like an additional $500 million towards the courts on the border to expedite asylum-seeking claims. Then we also had like some rolling average daily caps and weekly caps in which the president could then step in and close the border down. I think it was like 5,000 a day for like the weekly cap. But here's my response to that. You said that the average over the administration was like 7,000 or 9,000 a day, whatever you said it was. If you were starving and I offered you a hamburger, would you take it, or would you say, no, I want a bacon wrapped filet? You take the damn hamburger. So when the border crisis is exuberantly high and we have this bipartisan border legislation that the alt-right, like Nick Fuentes, isn't happy about, any rational, sane person would take the bill to decrease the impact of the crisis.
All right, now let me respond to that now, because you went on your whole thing about, you corrected me on some of these things.
But you
let
never
me now
answered my
rebut
question.
that. Well, because the premise of the question is wrong. But I'll answer it
explained
now.
to you how it wasn't wrong.
You want me to answer these like false hypotheticals and syllogisms, but that's not really how a debate works, actually. Or if passing this bill is like putting out a fire, would you pass the bill? Okay. So first of all, you said the bill was from 2023. The bill failed in 2024. And that's because it resulted from the impasse over appropriations in September 2023. There was an impasse in Congress over 12 military appropriations bills. The deadline was October 1st. That's why Kevin McCarthy was removed, because the Freedom Caucus, specifically the MAGA caucus within it, insisted on what they were calling, I forget the name of it, but a certain border provision in the spending bill. McCarthy wouldn't go for it. And they kept passing continuing resolutions until a bipartisan agreement was put together in the Senate. But at that point, and that was in February, Mitch McConnell said, my first priority is Ukraine, because that was the other sticking point in negotiations. So the Republicans, because they wanted Ukraine aid to pass, which was another subject of the impasse, they said, fine, fine, here's your border concessions. And I'll tell you the provisions because you don't know. It said that it would only mandate enforcement of the border when daily apprehensions hit more than 8,000 per day. Again, the average of the past 20 years is 2,000 to 3,000 per day. It would say you only have to enforce. That's what the bill says. The bill says
no,
8,000 per day. It says that
Could we get a fact
it says
check
that
on
the
that?
administration can get emergency authority at 5,000 per day on average over a 7-day period. But it only
Another lie.
mandates. It only no, not a lie. It mandates enforcement at 8,000.
It's 5,000 for 1 day for a
Excuse me.
lockdown,
I let you finish
2,500
your
per week
nonsense when you
rolling
said
week
it was in
average.
23 when it wasn't. So you're wrong about that. It mandates it at 8,000 per day. What's more, again, the daily averages for 20 years, 10, 20 years, was 2,000 to 3,000. Under the Biden administration, it goes up past 7,000. They want to say, well, 5,000, you get emergency powers. 8,000, you have to use emergency powers. That's far too many. There's been, and this whole argument about a backlog because of Title 42, 10 million illegal immigrants have come in under Biden. Title 42 was implemented. When did the lockdown happen? March 2020? You think 10 million illegals were trying to get in the 9-month period between March and December of 2020? Biden undid all the policies in January 2021. So that's just like an ad hoc. You're just fishing around for an answer. With regard to the Trump administration, you can see very clearly cause and effect on immigration. When Trump was elected, illegal immigration went down because foreigners anticipated that there would be enforcement. So, and you can see throughout the history of the country, when they threaten enforcement, illegals don't come. When they think they'll get amnesty or they think they'll get in, more of them arrive. So they thought Trump was going to be a hardliner on immigration. They didn't come. Then in September and October 2017, Trump floated a DACA amnesty. He said, we're going to give amnesty to all the deferred action on childhood arrivals. The reason that matters is because children being brought over the border is one of the 3 big loopholes for how illegals are caught and released into the country. They bring children that aren't there and all kinds of other things. So Trump said, we'll give an amnesty. Then all of a sudden, they started getting caravans from the Northern Triangle in the spring of 2018 because he said amnesty. They heard it. They started to come. Trump maintained a zero tolerance policy promulgated then by Jeff Sessions. And they said, we're going to separate the children. We're going to treat them as unaccompanied minors. There was a huge media outcry before the election. They had to reverse it. And then after they reversed it, it exploded. And May and June 2019, they hit a peak. Trump implemented the migrant protection protocols by threatening sanctions, or rather tariffs against Mexico. And then it came down again. And that is the story of illegal immigration in Trump and the Biden years. It has everything to do.
I see it very differently.
Hang on. It has everything to do with the Biden policies. They let in 10 million people, and then they float out this half-assed bill that
Wait,
doesn't
what policy
fix.
did Biden has influenced the capacity?
Let me finish.
Bro,
they put out this half-assed bill in the last year because everyone agrees the border's a crisis. They concretize it and basically make codify in federal law Biden's policy to let 5,000 people a day on average here. And then when Republicans voted against it, they said, oh, Republicans are against border security. It's a political thing. Even Democrats acknowledge that. It's totally fake. You know, you could keep going with it, but everyone knows it's fake.
Okay. Well, apparently Trump doesn't. He said at a rally in Nevada to blame it on him if the border bill fails. So I think that Trump's big mouth actually does him a lot of harm because I just used Trump's own word of mouth to debunk Nick Fuentes supporting Trump. So yeah, see that's the face of a losing man. And you said that you were perfectly
what you're saying is just
painting
retarded.
Okay, well,
Go ahead.
I don't appreciate your use of the slurs, but I guess that's what emotionally immature men, when someone smarter than them lays down the truth. Isn't that right, sir?
10 minutes on this topic.
Yes. We make jokes. Men are funny. Men are funny. Women are not funny. That's another advantage, but that's the other debate.
Are you a woman?
You could call it emotionally immature. Oh my gosh, he said the R word. That's what happens when an emotionally immature male.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
According to your
Go ahead
logic,
on immigration.
According to your logic. But I would like to specifically clarify that your comment about men being more funny than women was just
That's
another
true.
unfunny, false fucking comment by an immature man. I
That's a
didn't
fact.
find it that fucking funny when you were telling us that the Holocaust was fake and that 6 million Jewish people didn't die. I didn't find it that fucking funny when you sat here and you told me that Trump didn't torpedo the border bill, even though he said he did at a rally in Nevada. If men were so much more funny than women, then why are you the most unfunny fucking specimen that I've ever had the displeasure of sitting across the damn phone with?
Why are you mad, dude? Why are
I'm
you? We're
not
just
mad,
having
I'm
a debate.
passionate.
Wait, who's funnier, Trump or Kamala?
Who's funnier?
Be honest.
Trump is funnier than Kamala Harris.
Case in point, I win the debate. Men funnier than women.
Oh, okay. But
You heard it here first.
You understand the reason I'd say that Trump is funnier than Kamala Harris is because
Because he's a guy.
No, because he has the IQ of your fucking family pet, and he sits on Twitter all day, and he rants about how much he hates Taylor Swift just because he endorsed Kamala Harris.
That was funny.
She endorsed Kamala Harris. It's not a funny and a ha-ha. It's a funny and a look at this guy fucking burn.
Dude, why? It's always like this diminutive. It's funny because it's sad, because you're a sad little. It was, dude, the president tweeted in all caps, I hate Taylor Swift. You don't think that's funny? You don't think that's not hilarious?
Wait, the president, do you think that Trump won 2020?
I said the former president.
But do you think Trump won 2020?
100% he did. That's a fact.
Can you name one court case that would find?
No, because they threw all the cases out because they lack standing.
Okay, so is it okay believing things without evidence?
There is evidence. You asked about court cases, but the court cases weren't lost. They were thrown out because they didn't have standing. There's a difference.
So there's not any evidence that there's.
No, there is evidence.
So what's the evidence of the widespread voter fraud in 2020?
The evidence is this. Do you know how many people voted early in the 2016 election? Do you know what percentage?
Significantly less than in the 2020 election.
Correct. Half. 35%. And in 2020 it was 70%.
Okay, so that's your evidence that Trump had the election stolen from him?
Well, let me. Whoa, why so hasty? Let's just talk about it.
I'm sorry, I'm having fun.
The amount of I can tell. The amount of early voting doubled because they changed the rules. In all the states, they changed the rules. In Pennsylvania, North Carolina, they illegally changed the rules with state election boards, with the state Supreme Court. In Wisconsin, they changed indefinitely confined status to mean anybody because of the pandemic. They solicited ballots. I literally got a ballot in Illinois for my uncle who has been dead for 20 years because they were soliciting ballots. And I would just say, and let me ask you this. If democracy is so sacred, which you believe, Kamala is going to protect and preserve our democracy. We're not going back.
Only because Trump tried to overthrow it with a fake election.
But if democracy is so precious, then a ballot is a precious thing because the ballot is the currency of the election. Do you think that it's good practice to ship out ballots to every voter and then tell them to dump them off in a drop box in a park unsupervised for a month at any time during the day? You think that's a good way to run an election?
Yeah, okay. I mean, then Trump shouldn't have voted, right? Because
is it? I'm asking you, is it? That's what happened.
Yeah, I think that mail-in ballots can be made secure. I understand your immediate response to them, saying that, oh, if I use these words in this particular way, this doesn't seem like.
Well, just answer. I mean, do you think that's a good way to run an election? Obviously not. It's obvious.
It is, and the empirics would agree with me. There's no sufficient evidence of widespread voter fraud. All the audits that were done on the outcome of the 2020 election indicated that it was a safe election in recorded U.S. history.
Where do they conduct audits?
One moment. Donald Trump went to 63 hand-picked courts, with 34 of those judges being Republican appointed, 17 of those judges being appointed by himself. All 63 of those courts ruled that there was no sufficient evidence and threw it out on the basis of no standing. And then Donald Trump even tried to form his own election integrity committee and bumped millions of dollars into them to find absolutely anything. They came up with a 2000 Mules movie, which the producers admitted in fucking court that they were lying. And when he found out that he had had no evidence. What did he do? He went to the DOJ with Bill Barr and tried to pressure him in to falsely announcing widespread voter fraud when there wasn't any. And if you know anything about your history, Bill Barr had to resign from the DOJ because half of the DOJ threatened to quit if he didn't. Donald Trump not only tried to rig the outcome of the 2020 election with the fake electorate plot, sending 7 different slates of fake electorates to 7 different states to cast fake votes into Congress to either be certified as real by Mike Pence or to be or to be accepted by the House if Mike Pence were to claim ignorance. But he also lied about the outcome. Your conspiracy theory that Donald Trump won has no evidence for it, and the only thing you could come up with was Pennsylvania changing their voting rules because of COVID, which, by the way, was ruled as legal by the Supreme Court.
You're just like not even listening. It was Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Wisconsin, and basically and they all did it illegally. Basically, every state changed rules of the election. And I would say, you're telling me, putting 70% of the voters voting early by putting them in mailboxes a month out from the election in an unsupervised drop box, you're saying, that is a good idea. You're just putting words in a particular order. Look, they don't do it like that in France because, we didn't do it here in America. The absentee voting was so rare up until like 20 years ago, up until 4 years ago, because it's so prone to fraud, obviously. When you vote in person, you got to present in certain states. Hang on, I let you just go.
Right. You let me out.
You got to present your ID, you receive your ballot, they watch you, you go into a room with curtains on it because there's privacy involved too. You fill it out and you submit it. It's called a chain of custody, meaning a supervisor watches the voter get their ballot, fill it out, and return it. It doesn't happen when you're doing so-called in-person absentee voting, and that's how 70% of people voted. That's a big problem. It's a big problem they changed the rules without doing it in the constitutional way. It's a big problem that those cases weren't even considered in the Supreme Court. It's also a big problem, by the way, they didn't do an independent ballot audit in almost any of the states. They did one in Arizona. False. It was flawed. False. They still found...
Georgia.
Where did they conduct an independent ballot audit? Where did they conduct an independent... It wasn't independent. They did a recount.
Georgia, Idaho, Indiana, Kansas, Michigan, New Jersey, and Oklahoma.
That's
and in
just
fact,
wrong.
I knew
You're
that
just
you
wrong.
would say
Google
that
it.
this is wrong. I knew that you
Google
would
it.
say that. I knew that you would say this is wrong. Search up U.S. States Election Assistant Commission, election audits across the United States. It'll give you an entire PDF.
They're not
that would
independent.
include
That's
the
the
types
problem.
of audits, the timing, the policies, the case studies, and the state-specific information indicating that, yes, these were independent
It's like you're
audits.
just not even
Feel free to
listening.
look through them.
I didn't say they didn't do audits or recounts. No, in no state other than Arizona did they conduct an independent audit of the ballots. Of course, if the same people that oversaw the fraud and were covering up the windows in the stadium in Detroit, of course the state is going to cover its own ass. That's why it needs to be independent. And they didn't do it in any state, even though that's what we were asking for. And by the way, about fake electors, they're not
What do you mean
fake.
by independent?
Independent meaning not conducted by the state.
Oh, okay. Independent of the state. So I just want to
Yes.
clarify. So you think that Donald Trump shouldn't have went to like the 17 judges that he appointed because those weren't independent?
So now you're
judges?
just gish galloping onto something else. You said,
I
"Oh,
was
I was
just
ready
curious.
for you to
Yeah,
say that. I have all this evidence." Oh, I didn't listen, and you said independent. Anyway, how about judges or something? Anyway,
no, responding
Let's get back on topic. Dean. Hold on. We've been going back and forth about January 6th. This topic is about immigration. Let's go to closing statements here. We'll do 1 minute from Dean and then 1 minute from Nick. So closing statements, you can bring up January 6th, but let's keep it to immigration if you can. Actually, I'll give you 90 seconds to reel it back a little. 90 seconds each.
About the specific ballot audits, I didn't know what you meant when you're referencing independent audits. I understand that you are
You're
now
not listening.
referencing audits independent of the state. I asked you to define your term, and I understand that. Yeah,
because you're on Chat GPT
right.
Democrat mode.
Nick, let's give him 90 seconds.
Point.
Let's give him 90 seconds and uninterrupted. I'll restart your time, Dean.
No, I just don't think that like an audit done by a state can automatically be discounted because you exist in a echo chamber of conspiratorial hearsay, and you start off with the basis Trump can never lose. You move to the basis when Trump loses, no, he didn't, and then tangent of that, you say all of these audits done by independent states are thereby null and void, and I shouldn't listen to them nor the 63 courts. It's just conspiracy theory. That's what you are. Your mind's been rotted. Everyone agrees with me. No one agrees with you apart from Donald Trump. Not even his old VP, Mike Pence, or 44 of the 46 former cabinet members, and that needs to be pointed out. Now, closing statements about immigration specifically, was that what you asked for, Sneeko?
Yeah.
I thought it was 90 seconds each on J6 and then closing
I'm down
statements.
for that. I'm down for that. I kind of like this conversation.
Fair, that's fine. Go ahead.
Okay, let me do mine now on J6. So, you know, here's the thing about the Trump election. They doubled the number of early voting. There's obvious flaws with chain of custody. Like, it just doesn't even pass the smell test. On that basis alone, you just can't take the authenticity of the election. And people say it's about, you believe Trump can never lose. I don't think that at all. I think Trump may lose in 2024. But you have to recognize that 2020 was an anomalous election. So when there is an anomaly, when every state changes how they conduct their ballot, when there's an unprecedented, the former peak of early voting was 35%. It was 70% in 2020. It was different. When something is different, you have to investigate it. That's the basis of an inquiry. Problem is, nobody wanted to investigate it. As quickly as the election happened, they wanted to shut it down. They censored people for talking about it. They didn't conduct independent ballot audits. And there was even a Time magazine piece that came out in January 2021, and it said, this is the conspiracy to shut down the election deniers. And there was like a full spectrum attack from the Democrats and the left on protesters, on people that were investigating this to prevent them from trying to decertify, trying to send on over other slates of electors. And I would point out, it is the state legislature's constitutional authority to send electors. If they throw out the election because they don't want to certify it and appoint a different slate of electors, that's their constitutional right to do so. That's just the law. And I would just say, look, if you really believe that 80 million people voted for Biden, that the 2020 election had more voters than any election in history by far, and it just happened to be the one where there was all mail-in ballots.
10 seconds, Nick.
Then, yeah, I just think you're dumb. I mean, so that's kind of my closing statement on J6.
Let's go closing statements on immigration. Let's do 1 minute each on immigration. Go ahead, Dean.
Cool. I'm just, you could take this off of my time. Well, you told me that your whole theory here is reliant on a smell test. Nick, I fucking smell bullshit. We shouldn't be relying on our intuitions and our emotions to tell us who won the 2020 election. I think that conservatives are so funny because they'll be like, listen to the science, trans women aren't women, I don't care about what you think or feel, you have XYXX chromosomes, but then sit over here and give me some bullshit smell test to dictate who won in 2020. About immigration specifically, I think it's evidently clear that Donald Trump doesn't care about the southern border, or else he wouldn't have torpedoed the bipartisan border bill in the House and the Senate 2 years ago. I think that it's evidently clear that he's not about getting shit done. He's repeating the same Republican tagline that every Republican in the last 20 years has with quote unquote deport them all. My question to you would be, why didn't Bush? They can't do it. It's practically infeasible. I say that we deport all violent undocumented migrants and then give the rest a pathway to residency and citizenship, fix our southern border, make it faster, make it quicker, and make it safer, and then crack down further on undocumented migration when our legal systems are up to par.
10 seconds,
Dean.
Dean.
Either deport them all, right? Get rid of $1.7 trillion from our economy over the next 10 years. You don't care about the debt. You don't care about the state of the economy. You don't care about the workers in the economy. All that you care about is spewing your fucking prejudice. You're doing the same thing with undocumented migrants now that you did with gay people and women 30 minutes ago. Take it away.
Closing statement, Nick, 1 minute.
Basket of deplorables, right? It was just a basket of deplorables. With regard to immigration, everybody knows Biden threw open the border. He rescinded every Trump executive order on immigration. He stopped construction of the wall. He effectively stopped deportations. Guess what happens? You get a lot of people. You get 10 million illegals in 4 years. That's insane. 10 million people in 4 years from Venezuela, from Haiti, from Africa, we don't even know who they are. The people that are coming here, they don't buy health care. They don't have a high school education. They have no resources. They're a massive drain on the economy. When they need health care, they go to the emergency room. They send their kids to public schools. It's a huge drain. And many states are eligible for SNAP. They're eligible for other benefits. And they work low wages. Because they're not educated, they work low skill, low paying jobs. They will never in a million years, maybe in a million, but they won't pay off in taxes what they receive in services. It's a big fiscal impact. In many cases, they're criminals. They don't show culture. They're low IQ. And we can, I mean, it's just obvious that this border bill thing was an ass-saving move. They poison pilled it with a bunch of nonsense so that they could blame it on Trump. But we all know the reality, and it's wrecking our country.
Okay, thank you. That was 5 topics. I think this was a good spirited debate overall. I appreciate both of your time. Aiden, do you have any thoughts?
You guys were, I would say about 90% of it, you guys respected, each other's time speaking and stuff, and it was awesome. It was great. Great conversations, great defense, great offense. It's the first time I've ever done one of these, and it felt really, really cool. I'm definitely gonna do more of this. How do you guys feel? We'll start with you, Dean. Like, how would you feel overall about this debate?
Yeah, I mean, like, you got a little bit of an echo there.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, dude, you're all good. I mean, I think overall, like, I'll first just kind of give my thoughts about, just having the debate on your platform. I think that was, like, really, really, really cool. I like the idea of exposing more people to what I believe in and why. I ultimately think if everyone thought like me, the world would be better off, and you kind of gave me more of an opportunity to achieve that. All things considered, it's good to have, like, a conversation about why people disagree. These conversations need to be held more. I'd say that you're overall doing a good thing here. I think that I did pretty well as well. Nick, specifically to you, I think for a lot of it, you're a pretty disingenuous debater, but I'll keep my personal qualms to myself. I appreciate you for the conversation over the course of the last hour and a half. And then Aiden, maybe you're at the end. I wanted to throw my socials out there for all the people in chat that may want them after watching me debate, but I'll leave that off until later.
Cool. Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate that, Dean. All right, and what about you, Nick? What would you like to say to the people and last words to Dean? Go ahead.
Well, thanks for having me on. I thought it was a lot of fun. Good. It's very informative. People get to learn about the topics. That's how you learn about an issue. You have to hear both sides. That wasn't nice. I don't think I was disingenuous. I'm funny, okay, and I'm a little sarcastic sometimes, but I think it's pretty clear to differentiate. I think he's a young guy. I fundamentally think a lot of the partisan debates are they're too shallow. I think that we all kind of go through a phase when we're young, and not to like sun you, I'm unk status now, but like we all go through a phase when we're teenagers, we're precocious, have a political disposition, and we kind of rush for like, I'm a Republican, I'm a Democrat. The Republicans are good, the Democrats are bad. The reality of politics is that Democrats and Republicans are really on the same side. And Republicans are one wing, and they're meant to create the illusion of opposition or dynamism where there really isn't any. And the personnel and the policies turn over from one administration to the next with very little difference. And I think that's even largely true in this election. And people get caught up in rhetoric and these appeals to emotion, slogans. People have to really follow the money. They need to look at things like imports and exports. They need to look at energy. They need to look at institutional capture. That's where you really discern the truth. So these kinds of intramural debates are fun. We go back and forth, but it's so much deeper. It's such a complex subject, but it's good that people are interested in it. And I appreciate Dean for coming on. I hope that he keeps reading, keep learning. In 10 years, I guarantee you have a totally different viewpoint. Maybe you're still left wing, but you'll have a different viewpoint for sure. I heard that when I was young. I didn't believe it, and then it was true. I only became more right wing. But you have to have that curiosity.
I was a
I'm sure
Trump
you will.
supporter when I was 16.
I'm sure you will.
Well,
but
great.
Yeah, so I thought it was great.
Wait, sorry, Dean, you cut off. You said you were a Trump supporter when you were 16?
Oh, dude, I used to be a vehement Trump supporter. Like Aiden, I was like big Trump fan, like Andrew Tate guy. I was like all of that shit. We could delve into the reasons why not super necessary for the live, but I guess like the point is the only reason I brought that up is because seemingly I've had a more progressive trend the more that I've matured.
I gotcha. Okay.
Well, you were gonna ask him about a previous debate that Nick had on Twitch.
Nick, I'm gonna ask you too, Dean, about something as well. Nick, did you previously debate Hassan Abi on Twitch?
I did, yes.
And someone told me that resulted in you getting banned on Twitch?
Yeah, that was the reason for my ban. Destiny mass reported me because he was on the debate as well.
Who won the debate in the people's eyes?
Me. Well, it was me and Sargon of Akkad. Remember him? It was me and him. We won.
How did I do compared to Destiny?
Not as well. But Destiny is probably your top guy, I think.
Well, okay, let me, Nick, I'm gonna let Dean. I'll be real, man. You're 1920. Like, you're probably like the best well-spoken 19, 20-year-old debater I've ever heard. And look, and I fucking no, seriously. And look, I don't agree with everything. It doesn't matter. But still, me and Sneeko are sitting here muted watching. You have a lot of great points. You have a lot of good discussions. You know, a lot of good counters. But I mean, but Nick, go ahead. What do you think about him overall as a debater?
You know, I think I think on a technical level, the rhetoric is effective at debating. I hate rhetoric. There is too much like sloganeering in there and kind of like cheap turns of phrase that like, oh, you think that doesn't pass the smell test? This doesn't pass. Those like cheap turns of phrase, I think that's what they are. I think they're cheap. Some of the sloganeering, like when Trump is going to make you pay more at the grocery store. This is just like political electioneering rhetoric. I like debates that are just very frank and brutal and straightforward and about the facts, and I like humor in there. So it's a different style. I think Dems lean a little more on rhetoric and sophistry and syllogisms and hypotheticals. I think right-wing people are a little bit more plain talking and maybe lighthearted and fun. That's my view of it.
Yeah, I'd hold the exact opposite, but I mean, I'm guessing you'd be able to guess that I'd say that.
Well, yeah, you're you and I'm me, so.
Exactly.
Great.
Exactly.
Well, let me ask you both a question. Dean, if you would like to call somebody out, I would love to have you on again. Dean, I would love for you to call somebody out. I'll try to pull who are like maybe 2 or 3 people, Dean, that you would like to debate on my stream next.
Oh, man. Nico.
What topics?
We'll have to talk about it, man.
Sure.
I would love to debate you. I would love to debate you, Sneeko. That's what I'd like to do. I'd also, right? You said like a couple people. I mean, if there's selections here, you know, Andrew Tate. Okay, this guy, he fucking tweeted at me on Twitter. And he said I was the reason why like white people are being replaced or some like crazy Nick Fuentes shit like that. And you know, like I retweeted it and called him out. It went crazy, but he's pivoting, he's dodging. I want to debate, you know, Andrew Tate. And then something else. I got a buddy. His name is Parker. If y'all ever have anything 2v2 going on, he would love to hop on one of these, and he'd be great for the content. Real smart guy.
For sure. Yeah, real quick, do you know who Harry is, by the way?
Yes.
Are you also Harry's friend?
Yeah, I'm friends with Harry.
Oh, okay. No, I was just curious. Okay, and then Nick, who would you like to debate next? I'll work some.
I'm calling Charlie Kirk. I'm calling out Candace Owens. I debate her. I debate Shapiro. I debate any of the above or any of the Democrats, you know, Harry Sisson or whoever. But I usually debate conservatives, actually. So.
Gotcha. Real quick. Really quick here. I do want to say, you know, again, Dean, we've been trying to find you. I've been trying to find you a matchup for a while. I want to let you know everyone was basically like, I'm busy, I can't do it. Nick finds out 2 minutes later, he doesn't even know who you are. He says, I'm down. Let's do it for sure. I just want to let you know, Nick, you know, I do appreciate the last minute. Me and Dean have been trying to go out this thing for, you know, quite some time now. So last minute, Nick was just like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. You didn't even know who he was, no hesitation. You just said, screw it, yeah. Because I will say, I'm not going to say names, but a lot of people didn't want to debate Dean. I'll say that. A lot of people were not really wanting to do it. So.
Wait, Nick has been trying to debate Ben Shapiro for about 7-8 years, and maybe you could use the Jewish connections and say, yeah, that'd be a great one.
Well, it's not a Jewish connection that I would do it. But I will reach out to Shapiro, and I'll see if he would like to debate Fuentes. Yeah, I'll do it. Yeah. Okay. Well. You guys were fucking awesome. I appreciate both of you. Again, guys, any last words you'd like to say before we head on out?
Yeah. Do you mind if I plug myself?
Go ahead.
If you're watching the debate, I'm sure that it's a heavily right-leaning chat. I mean, this guy Donald Trump on a couple months back, so I doubt I'll get that much love. But if you liked what you saw and you enjoyed, you know, my debating style, I'm on Instagram at Dean Withers, DeanWithers. I'm on Twitter at ITSDEAANN. It's Dean with 2 A's, 2 N's. TikTok is the same thing as a Twitter. But yeah, I appreciate everyone for showing up and showing out. It was a fun little debate tonight.
Okay, and then Nick, anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, well, just thanks again, Aiden. Good to talk to you again, Sneeko. Dean, thanks for coming on. Fun debate. Appreciate everybody watching. Hey, I've defended Trump, but I'm telling people don't vote for Trump. He's not far right enough. That's my new. He's bringing us to war with Iran. He's not going to deport all the illegals. I'm telling people
we got
don't
the
vote.
Jill Stein of the right over here. We got the Jill Stein.
That's some
of the
bullshit,
right.
chat. I ain't gonna lie.
Principled, principled,
We need Trump
and
over
based.
Kamala.
I'm not going to plug myself because that's just like, you know, follow me in real. I'm Nick Fuentes. Follow me at Nick Fuentes
I'm new
in
to
real
the
life.
scene. I'm new to
Yeah,
the
I
scene.
know it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. When you're young, when you're unk status like me, it's like, hey, follow me in the astral plane. Okay, follow me in the ether. I am on Rumble though, but yeah. So it was a fun debate. Good meeting you and good seeing you guys, Aiden and Sneeko.
Oh, sorry, I was muted. All right, guys, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night.
All right, thanks. You too.
All right.
Bye.
All right. What'd you?
I mean, they did a poll, right? It was like 85%.
Wait, I want to see what he says next. I want to see what Fuentes says.
Have a good night. All right, thanks. You too. Bye. All right. Have it. There's a debate. How did I do? How did I do?
W's, they love him. Look, chat. Look at this.
Some live reactions. One in the chat if you think I won. Lost.
He did that's as long as
Really,
he's
I
ever in
only
the
want
wild.
to see.
For real?
What do you think?
I think he crushed him.
Jones in the chat. Total victory. On
Who do y'all think won, chat?
I think he crushed him. I think, you know, I gotta give him credit. You should take the
one
words
of
off
the
the
best
screen.
Jews
Why?
in the country. You know, everybody's calls
Immigration
me an
thing?
anti-Semitic. Anti-Semite. I'm not an anti-Semite. I love.
I think
Jesus.
Dean did well on Christian nationalism. That surprised me.
Sorry.
Weird. And but other than that, I think Nick crushed him. Like I was surprised from Dean. Most of this stuff is about
good.
frame. Like he's good, but he didn't have enough confidence. I think overall, I didn't like the piano analogy he made. I didn't like the white supremacy comparing it to gay.
The gay butt sex one was freaking me the fuck out. Like, I'm gonna be real with you guys.
It's a hard one to win.
I got no problem with gay people, bro. It's like the butt sex shit was freaking me the fuck out.
He made a lot of like weird equivalencies. Like he kept trying to compare like piano playing to butt sex. It's like no, that's not gonna win over an audience. You can't compare butt sex to playing a piano.
I just think that the butt sex one was a little bit tough for me. I'm not saying that all homosexuality is bad. I'm not saying that.
It is.
Chet.
I'm saying that.
I'm not.
I'm saying that.
I'm not. But
I'm not saying that. I'm on Twitch. It's fine.
It's fun.
It's fine.
Whoa. Like I did agree with what Fuentes was saying. You're saying that, you know, if you do want to take it up the ass, you have to prepare it. You do. You have to take a shower, you have to shit. You got to put something in your butthole to loosen it up. I mean, dude, you need lube. Like, if you want to put your dick inside of a pussy, you could just put it in. Like, yeah, the girl's to get wet, obviously.
She's gotta get wet, yeah.
But that's with consensual sex. Obviously, the girl will be wet, right?
Well, even in rape, sometimes it gets wet. But yeah, that's besides the point.
How would you know that?
How would you know the fucking drugs and the butt sex stuff?
Because he said it.
Also, the weird argument was the Hitler, would you rather have your wife?
Okay, I'll be real. Guys, listen. I'm Jewish. You guys know that. Hitler was a great leader. What he did was wrong. I obviously so fucked. It's for real. What he did was fucked up. He killed innocent people. But he was a good leader. Like, at the end of the day, like, take it with a grain of salt with what I'm saying. Like,
bro.
No, he was. No, he literally was. Like, he made a vast majority of people all stand by him, and he ruled he almost had Russia too. He almost took out all these countries, bro. So you guys can say what you want. At the end of the day, like, I'm gonna say this take too. Joe Biden is smart. You guys may think otherwise. Joe Biden was smart. I'll tell you why. He fooled the entire people to get into where he is today, in office. He did. And this guy, you know, now it's obviously different, but he's still a smart person. Joe Biden in some ways is smarter than Donald Trump. And you gotta really understand what I'm trying to tell you. It's like, there's stuff that you guys have to admit. Does that mean that he's a better leader than Trump? Fuck no. But what I'm saying is, it's still Trump 2024, chat. But you guys really gotta understand what I'm saying. Hitler was smart because he brainwashed people into thinking that there was all this great stuff going on, when in reality, no, stop. He killed innocent people. That's the take I'm telling you guys. So you guys should word it.
All right, so listen
block
up.
the
State
block.
Farm was trying to charge me $197 for car insurance. No, thank you. I got a friend who told me about this website.
Hey, you, come here. Do you know what a blue ocean strategy is, friends? If you've been following my Twitter, my YouTubes, I've been speaking about blue ocean strategies, using the term for a while. You got to get really familiar with it. Let's look at this nice picture I've made here for you. Blue ocean on the right-hand side, red bloody waters on the left. So blue ocean, friends, blue ocean strategy. Its origins come from this marketing textbook. I forgot the guy, but basically it's really, really cool. Okay, so it's a concept of marketing. and it's here to try stem your mind into an area where you have low competition. And I remember studying this in uni, and it still sticks with me today. And back then in uni, I mean, you had no idea what the hell was going on, but there's this term blue ocean. You want to be in a blue ocean, not a red ocean. I don't know why. That's just one of the things I just remembered. It's still stuck in my head. Now, with Pulse Chain, friends, Pulse Chain's a blue ocean area, and I'm going to show you what it means. And basically, it's an area, look at this on the right-hand side, newer market, producing market segments, okay, without competition, create and attract new demand. And to contrast it on the left-hand side, you can see what a red ocean area is. It's an existing market. It's a battle from market segments, and you have to expand existing demand, all right? So best examples, there's so many examples that are red ocean stuff here, friends. I don't know if you've ever seen, but sometimes there'll be like, someone like hits it really big with a business in let's say in a restaurant industry or property, whatever the hell it is, and they just hit it big with some sort of business, and they don't know what to do with the money. And they might be in the media, and they might have a personality and stuff, and then you end up finding out later down the track that they're getting into another industry. And it's always they're red ocean ecosystems, my friends. So a red ocean ecosystem, for example, is Ethereum. It is Solana, okay? So if you are trying to make a DeFi coin, if you're trying to make a new yield farming project, you got no chance on Ethereum, man. No chance. You have to do something like Pendle. You literally have to make a whole new... You can only add to existing demand. You can't do anything like, hey, I'm going to make a token and do a DeFi thing. We did 1,000 of those experiments in 2020, and they all pretty much went to zero and they popped down, okay? So we already ran that experiment. And you can go back to the Ethereum chart just to have a look, right? You can't see it. You can't see it, friends, but if you go back to that Ethereum chart, right? All of that happened here. All of that DeFi stuff happened here. There's lots of DeFi projects. There's all the DMs and the food tokens. And now it's like so red ocean, people don't even want to touch it anymore. Then became meme coins, right? Now meme coins is like red ocean, isn't it? Because like, oh, there's thousands of meme coins. You look at tweets and videos, everything's got a character. But here's the thing, man. Luckily, friends, we got a boost, me and you. We're in crypto. Crypto, as a whole, is totally blue ocean compared to the rest of the world, right? Based off just the market size and the market caps of everything out there. And it's not even really close. I mean, when you look at it, you have crypto at like between 2 to 3 trillion, and then you have stocks at 120 trillion. So like 60 times bigger than us. Okay? All the companies and the minds out there, they're still out in stock market land and real estate land and all these. Well, how about digital stocks? How about digital real estate? That's what crypto is, yeah? So we're in a blue ocean area, but because more and more people are coming in, it's getting more and more tough, yeah? You see, if you're going to make a DeFi project, for example, it's so red ocean and it's so overdone that all you can do is, once again, look at the left-hand side, all you can do is expand existing demand. So there's demand here, and what people do is that's why people have, it's their bias comes in again, and it's because they want to follow the herd. It's because they see a market out there, they see a DeFi market, they go on DeFi Llama, they see there's billions locked up and stuff, so they want to try to grab something of that. Because they feel so comfortable seeing a group of people, they're trying to like basically get some breadcrumbs out of them, okay? But the big money, the real money, is leaving the red waters, leaving the red ocean, and going to the blue ocean, my friends, a newer market, all right, where you produce market segments, okay? So you create the demand in this new area because there's people out there who are willing to participate, okay? So that's where you got to do homework. Now, Pulse Chain literally fits this whole thing. And it's not just Pulse Chain. There are other ecosystems out there that are also like this, friends. But it's not about like knowing a formula or knowing what's going to work or not. It's about the mind frame, okay? So when I visually think of what we're doing in Pulse Chain or any other coin you're in an ecosystem, I want you to think, is it blue or is it red? What do you feel? What do you feel? When there's market consensus, it's red, okay? Token 2049, the Singapore event, clear as day, 100% market consensus was in Solana. I watched, CryptoBance's coverage of it. I looked at everything. I'm like, dude, I'm running away from this. The first thing I saw, I'm like, there are way too many people on a stage. There are way too many projects, way too many like institutions, VanEck, this, and these guys, ETF, and like just all these things happening. Too many people out here. And I'm like, you know what? Everybody's trying to take a breadcrumb from the pizza. All right? Why don't you go sit on the dinner table where it's just you and the pizza? You get to eat the whole pizza by yourself. So that's the way it works, friends. In markets, you gotta understand there's a limited number of currency units. Now, it is growing over time. There's a growth rate over time, but there's a limited number of currency units. It can only grow like, 20% per year, 10% per year. So whatever's in there, everybody's trying to pick a piece of it, right? And when everyone clobbers in together, it's very hard to win. You need an enormous advantage. That's why, friends, like even in Solana coins, there's a cabal. There is a cabal. Not just Solana, they're in Ethereum, they're in Tron, it's the same scum out here. I follow some of them on Twitter just to keep a track of them, okay? They're in a cabal. And they even joke about the cabal. They go, they're not the cabal. These people are the cabal. But don't worry about their names or whatever, okay? Because they always get these like weird, psychotic people just following them. Now, these people, friends, they have such an enormous advantage over the other guy, me and you, squirrels, that it's shark-infested waters, okay? So you probably noticed this, right? A meme coin launches out of nowhere. It gets taken up, 50, 100 million market cap plus, gets listed on Binance, gets listed here, gets listed there, everyone's in on it. You see what I mean? Like, now, some of them are nice, genuine, unicorn, winner, great coins. But you can't trust them all. You can't. You know something fishy is around happening here. Like, how come you guys are cheering on this and what's going on, right? So, the only way to make it through this game is to start thinking of this lens, right? Now, obviously, what makes Pulse Chain blue ocean? Well, the color blue and the red, it's not really about that. Just think about how easy it is to get there. Okay, so Pulse Chain, you basically just got one bridge. I think you got another one or two here and there, but it takes a while to get in. Not listed anywhere. We had a MEXC listing. I don't even know if it's still there, but there's no tier 1 listings. You see that? Doesn't even have a proper explorer. It's only got 10,000 daily users, which is exactly what Cardano had 4 years ago. Exactly 4 years ago, friends, Cardano had 10,000 daily users, and it grew to 100,000. I'm actually going to show you my post here right now. So, friends, this is the daily users counts for Cardano. I forgot where I got the actual one here, but I made many posts like this, okay? So it has, look at this, September 2020, 11,000 daily users, this is 10,000, and then it went to 100,000. Metcalf's law.
Unexpected illness or injury, Guidewell Emergency Doctors provides expert care from board-certified.
Hey you, come here. Do you know what a blue ocean strategy is, friends? If you've been following my Twitter, my YouTubes, I've been spiritual connection. Also, a lot of hexagons like Cordanzo. They like Charles, they like his vision, they like how he's maverick and he still stands on his own and stuff like that. Okay, so he believes, yeah, there's a better way, you can do things differently, right? Whether it works out or not doesn't really matter. I mean, you're here for the price growth, you're here for the people growth. Okay, that's it, friends. It's it. It's like if I got you to join another country and they have a GDP of literally $1 million. You're like, well, I don't know if you're ever going to topple America, but I know one day you're going to have $1 billion of GDP. Get in. Go and join the city. There's going to be hyper growth. See what I mean? You don't need to flip America to be a great country. Okay? You don't need to flip Ethereum to be a great chain. It's nice to aim, but it's beautiful, right? And by the way, got to remind you, Metcalfe's law, once again, friends, if you 10x the user base, you get a 100x of the price growth. Now, Bitcoin has 320 million people in there. If you want a 100x in Bitcoin from today, you need to add 3.2 billion with a B people. 3.2 billion. Got it? So, Pulse Chain's only got 11,000 daily active users, 11, okay? Now, of course, there's a lot of bots and stuff here and there, and the data can get obfuscated, but I'm just showing you, man, it's great. So, Metcalfe's law like this worked for SHIB, worked for Doge, I did it on Doge, I still remember the numbers. Doge had about 440,000 wallet holders in 2013, 2014, and if you get the chart, up to where Elon Musk shielded, it did a 100x price growth. So, it went from 4.4 million holders, it went to 4.4 million. And it did, but by the way, when you get these price growth, friends, there is a premium in the bull market where things go nuts. So you hit a fair value and then things go wild. As each cycle happens, though, the euphoria happens there. So I'm just showing you, like, isn't this amazing that you're in a blue ocean area here, you don't have 10,000 daily users, it's easy to get 100,000. Okay, Soldana's got 1 million, by the way. How's Soldana going to get to 10 million real people? You need a lot. Now, they all believe they're going to get it, but you gotta understand, man, that's a red shark-infested water. You see, because if it's all about attention and it's all about where the people are going to go, then people aren't just going to hang around your chain because they like you. They're going to only go there if they think there's opportunity. You see, so if someone else can get their attention, they're just going to move over in 5 seconds. That's why you need to be a cult. Right, that's why you gotta have principles that basically hold everyone down the line despite prices not moving up for a while. So as you get to see now, friends, okay, Pulse Chain ecosystem, it's entirely blue ocean. Okay, plenty of opportunity and there's low competition. Just because there's a less number of eyeballs, that's it. That's what it comes down to. In a simple term to put it, there are less eyes looking at your coins. That's it. There's less eyes looking, and you're speculating that there'll be more eyes. By the way, that's all of land. That's how you price land in the whole world. Okay, the land that's worth the most is where everyone wants to live and be. There you go. Okay, your land in the middle of the African desert, no one gives a crap about it. Okay, but you know your little shoebox land in San Francisco, worth a fortune. You see, same as art, by the way. Art goes up as more people want to be around it or to view it. And one of the revelations I told you, friends, a lot of people were surprised. They still DM me today. They can't believe that this fact where the biggest, wealthiest art owners, they will pay schools around Europe and around the world. They'll donate to the museums and stuff so they can bring kids in and pay schools to teach them about the artists or whatever they own, like the Michelangelo and the Da Vinci, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo, you know, these types, right? So think about that, right? Van Gogh, right? Van Gogh and pump the market, please. What a genius, by the way. Genius long-term investor. So you own the art and then you pay people to teach about your artist, but then they have it. That's what's been going on. That's how they've passed on all these wealth. You ever wonder why do we go learn about the same 5, 6 artists? Now you know why, okay? So they make their own demand. It's funny. So on the right-hand side, friends, we have these nice fishy and banana art because, you know, bananas grow on trees. That's what we want. The blue ocean creates and attracts new demand. Now, specifically, what do we have on Pulse Chain? We have less eyeballs. That means you're early, okay? There's less people there competing against, okay? I even have mentioned it here. Blue ocean areas have better altcoins to buy and more loyal community members, okay? Because there's less eyeballs, there's less distractions. And if there's less distractions, the loyalty rate is easy to be high. See? They are. Doesn't mean you're going to buy anything, but you don't have 30,000 flavors of ice cream to choose from like you do on Solana and everything else. You don't have that going on. You have people who, yeah, want to settle on this land, which is like buying Solcoin. I like Peak on Pulse Chain. I like Dickweed. Okay, I want to believe in a PI $1 narrative. Imagine we had like 15 stablecoins trying to peg to $1. It would make things very obfuscated. Imagine there was a cabal of influencers that made a fake, you know, PI wannabe story, and then they would try to get listed on Bybit, which is what they're doing on Solana with all this stuff. You see how it starts to get hard? Imagine there were like 5 coins trying to do it. You see, then it dilutes the bid of everyone. You see, but there's only say 1 Peak on Pulse Chain, and then there's 1 poker chain. You see, what about Tangang? Right? No, and Peach. You also have Orange Man Good. So these things are unique. And some of them, like Mog, there's a Pulse Chain Mog, okay? That's really, really good culture from Ethereum, but not all the culture can just transcend everywhere else, right? So Dog with Hat, the dev tried to launch on Ethereum, I think it did a pump and dump pretty much, and it didn't work out, okay? Because Dog with Hat, I guess, you know, it's Anthem's coin, and you know, he's on Solana and stuff out here. Remember, friends, you got to avoid the red ocean. They have Cabal insiders, there's more PvP environment, which means you can win, it's just there's more people trying to grab all that money, that's it. So ultimately, though, Pulse Chain's only got like 260,000 unique people, okay? 260,000. So yeah, if you wanted to do 100x, you got to add 10x that user base, right? So about 2.6 million, 2.2 million. Doable, man. It's doable. Ethereum has 80 million people. Think about that. And Solana's got like 1 million daily users. So you want to be swimming in the blue, right? And just think about this, friends. Blue ocean, right? So memes of this cycle, they are blue ocean. Okay. Now there's a lot now, but compared to all the other cycle narratives, it's like, you know, friends, how many gaming coins were there? There's like 300 gaming coins. Everyone's making a game. All the metaverse stuff, all the JPEG NFTs. Memes are the new altcoin thing, right? Look at one creative one out here. So you have, this is hilarious, right? This is Wojak and his fat girlfriend that he's too embarrassed to tell everyone about. And here I am saying, I must give credit where credit is due. Wojak getting a fat girlfriend has been one of the most compelling advancements of crypto in the whole year. Millions of people care more about Wojak's new girlfriend than they do to vote on a layer 2 governance forum. Here, so here, okay? And that's actually very, very true, friends. We actually play some nice journey music, friends. Some Pokemon journey music. See that? Creating demand. People care, you see, because we haven't had a full cycle of memes. Come back in 2026, maybe there's just too many stories, too many characters coming in, maybe they've done too many things, but right now, we haven't seen all of it happen. So we're seeing the mushrooms pop up. We're seeing unique things pop up here. You have this. Friends, you also said Dirky Turkey. Okay, he dressed up as a giant dick with butt, and then he goes and chainsaws a teddy bear. I'm going to show you his YouTube right now. So this is DWB the Bear Killer. Look how hilarious this is, friends. See? He's actually got a chainsaw. He's dressed up as a giant dick with butt, right? How amazing is that? How cool is that, okay? So just showing you, right, these things, and remember, it's taken like stuff in the real world, like, oh, maybe there was like a competition out here. See how fun that is? See how fun, like, we're animating things. There's funny things like Wojak got a new girlfriend. He dressed up as a giant dick with butt and does this. low level people just say, oh, it's all for attention, which is true. But okay, now you try it. Okay, you try. Capture everyone's basically get their vibes, get their attention, get the energy to do that. It's tribal community stuff. Okay, so that's what's happening in crypto. These cultures being put up. Remember, you start off as a cult. That's the most important thing. Then you grow into religion. Bitcoin started off as a cult, now it's a religion, and all the successful ones like obviously Hex is a cult. I guess Pulsechain's going to be the religion. That's what pretty much you're betting on, right? And in a nutshell, friends, have a look at this speaker. So you can see these meme coins are simply mascots that you can now swap around on the internet. So they are borrowing off of Bitcoin scarcity. That's what they did. The mind share of each mascot can be moved around as people collect pieces of it. You see, so all the meme coins, they don't want to be inflationary. They don't want to hand out yield. It's like a statue, right? You don't want to keep making like 15 statues in the main square. You have only one statue, okay? So there's only one Eiffel Tower. They don't go build 7 of them.
It's sickening, really, how Florida Power and Light, FPL, Duke Energy, and Tampa Electric, TECO, have deliberately muddied the waters around solar panels just to keep their pockets overflowing. It's no coincidence you're confused.
So this is what's going on here in crypto. This is blue ocean area stuff. And Pulsechain is obviously the hotbed of blue ocean area stuff, okay? The red ocean area stuff, yeah, you can win. There's liquidity, there's people there. There's just so many eyeballs competing, okay? So that's something you just have to navigate, okay? You can make, look, eventually, hopefully Ethereum's 10 grand, Pulsechain's up a 50x high or whatever. The poopy Pulsechain altcoins, so the ones that aren't even that inspiring, their worst case still might be a 10x from here. How amazing is that? Your worst case is still a 10x. It's because you're in such a blue ocean area, no one's looking at the coins here. You're buying, in a nutshell, what it means is your poopy coin, maybe it's like 50k market cap. You can get in and maybe it hits like 500k market cap later on because people just want to punt on stuff. That's worst case, right? But when you got to think bigger, okay, there are a lot of gambles. What about something like Pick on Pulsechain or Dickbit or whatever? If Pick on Pulsechain, imagine it hits like 500 million market, imagine that's like another 150x because no one's looking at it now, but maybe one day in the future they will. But it's easy to see, okay, there's no one here. Should you automatically join? It doesn't automatically make it blue ocean. You need now the vision, right? The vision is the conviction to hold. So that's why we do things, friends. We have, like I've made for you my ultimate bull market strategy guide. You're going on chain number 1. Okay, so that's more towards blue ocean stuff. So centralized exchanges, totally red as hell. Sharks everywhere. Market makers, insider, freaking all these scum MEV bots. They got better fees. They're liquidating people, just trash. Okay, and everyone's being using these exchanges to dump. So that's scum stuff as well. That's number 1. Okay, number 2 is finding an active community. Okay, so now you look at an active community. There's ones on Solana, Ethereum, Pulsechain, Arbitrum, whatever. Pulsechain obviously has the least eyeballs. Okay, so active community, go sweet. There's an active community. The market's pricing at 0. Effectively, it should be much higher. You see, very important. And then the third point, if I remember, was key information asymmetry. So in the blue ocean area, and now you know, Richard Hart has 170,000 Ethereum in a Pulsechain stack wallet. He's turbo long ETH. He's going to rotate in. See what I mean? That's big key information asymmetry. You also know there's 2 conferences per year, Hex conference, Pulsechain conference. You know there's 170 content creators, 72 streamers. You see this? You have information here, building your conviction, and you're just swimming in this blue ocean water. And there's an island around you, and everything's great. Okay, so that gives you an advantage. And the last one is developers. Okay, but the devs only come when the people come out. Okay, so Cordanzo's devs all came after 100,000 people rocked up. So ultimately, friends, you can now see a difference, right? Swimming in the blue ocean area. You want less people. Less people means more slippage on liquidity. That's what it means. It means harder to use things, more clunky. It means it's tougher to get in. It's more of an effort. But once you do get in, man, if you're right and everyone else wants to come in after you later on, you kill it. You kill it. My thesis is still the same, friends. I still believe by the end of this bull market, a lot of people who have not made money who are in other chains. They're going to see Richard Hart. They're going to see him rotating money in. They're going to see everyone yelling, and then come rush in. They're going to try to get their final 2, 3x. They're going to try to do something, and I believe that mania of remember, they'll be coming in to buy the calls first, and then they'll come in to buy the altcoins. They'll come and buy all the popular stuff. The volume and the activity and all of these will just basically send everything through the roof. You even have Pulsex's buy and burn that's going to be working turbo overdrive in the background, but that's what you're playing for pretty much. Where the market's saying you have a 1% chance of survival, yes, and you believe it's 90%. So when they finally price it in as a 90% survival, that's going to be the friendship and kindness we're looking for. Hopefully it's like 100x higher prices everywhere from here, and everything's much higher. Okay, and if it doesn't work out, okay, sweet. The good thing is, man, the price is so low. Okay, if it doesn't work out, okay, you don't get 100, you're up 5x, but you're not getting the 5x in Bitcoin. You know what I mean? So the deeper value you are, friends, you have more room for error. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there, right? All of it's going to, basically, the cookie's going to crumble wherever it does. We're still waiting for all the other catalysts to appear. And the most important part is, man, you have literally all these cultists ready with a megaphone, just ready to yell. See, that's your edge. Blue Ocean Edge. Make sure you like, subscribe, catch you next one.
Alright, I'm off this stream. We powered through this shit. Did a good amount of time. I did about 3 hours on YouTube, 3 hours on Kick, and in total, I can't see my... I'm actually curious. Wait. I want to see how long I was on Twitch. Let's see. What the fuck does that mean? Alright, so we just did an amount of time that they can't even quantify. Shout the fuck out. Alright. See you later, chat.